Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. We have made it to Thursday, and we have had so many conversations about what was going to happen today. We are here, Tom's Watch Bar. It's going down already. You got High Point. You got Purdue. You got Creighton. You got Louisville. You know what else you got? You got a beam last night as the Sacramento Kings take down the big bad wolf, Cleveland Cavaliers. And I know, Allen, they were missing Darius Garland, but we don't even have to talk about who the Kings were missing. No Jake LaRavia, didn't know that was going to happen. No Zach LaVine, didn't know that was going to happen. And even though we knew that Domantas Sabonis wasn't going to be playing, it doesn't make things any easier. But the Kings, they embraced the underdog. The Kings, they said, you know what? It's time to show everyone what we're truly made of when our backs are up against the wall. And that's exactly what the Kings did, taking down the best team in the NBA, 123-119. And I think the most impressive thing from the game last night is that the Cavs, maybe to their standards, because, you know, not sure how much all of us watch Cleveland Cavaliers, but as far as I saw, the Cavs played pretty darn well. It wasn't a complete stinker, right? And a lot of people want to have the conversation comparing the Celtics game, even though, yes, it was in Boston, no De'Aaron Fox, we get all that. But the Celtics, they were really scuffling. I know the Cavs last night made 3 straight, but the Celtics were dealing with some things. And even at that same time, they weren't the best team in the NBA. So everything is relative. And with that being said, yes, the Kings were missing De'Aaron Fox, but the Kings, and this version of the Kings specifically, the interim beam team, no Jake LaRavia, no Sabonis, no Zach LaVine, no problem. As the Kings, honestly, they bullied the bully. They made things very uncomfortable for the Cleveland Cavaliers early on. And I got to go ahead and give my kudos to Devin Carter right now. There's going to be a lot of Devin Carter talk. Because just yesterday, Kyle, I know you could probably pull it. Yesterday, I said Devin Carter is not Derek White. I literally text Kyle this morning saying, maybe he could be Derek White. The way he was playing, this guy has accumulated 7 steals in the last 2 games. He plays with a level of confidence that I would want any player on my team to have. When his number is called, he is always ready to go. So Devin Carter, honestly, to me, has been just the shining star in a couple of these games here where the Kings have looked really good. I will say this, though, and we're going to get into this a little bit deeper, that as we've had conversations about the Kings and their fit, and I got to be completely honest with y'all, I almost asked Doug Christie this question last night because it was a good game, so I stayed. And I get roasted by the media all the time. Allen, you only come to big games. Allen, you never stay. Okay, but look, when they show up, I show up too. So I'm in the post game with Doug Christie, and everybody's asking questions. It's a very feel-good moment, and I didn't want anything to get misconstrued. But honestly, and I would have meant this, of course, as respectfully as possible, obviously you don't want to be missing Zach LaVine. You don't want to be missing Domantas Sabonis. And Domantas Sabonis is a little bit separate than this. But what I'm getting at is, because some of these guys are a bit redundant in what they do and how they play, does it make things honestly a little simpler to game plan when you're missing them? And this is not a Zach LaVine thing. It's not a Malik Monk thing. It's not a DeMar DeRozan thing. But the combination of the 3 of them, which we've talked about time and time again, just hasn't really fit. So when one of them is missing or one of them is off the floor, things just seem to be a little cleaner. Now, I understand when things are appropriate for the most part and not appropriate. So I didn't ask the question, but that was pretty heavy on my mind. So it's almost addition by subtraction in a way. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not putting Domantas Sabonis into that conversation. And last night, we've seen this. We've also seen it when they played a couple games ago and got that W. They are able to, against the Grizzlies, they are able to take care of business because they're starting to find their roles. And I will say this, as much as I'm talking about the redundancy, if you can harness and find those roles when you do have a 24-point score per game like Zach LaVine, then we're talking about this is why there was a level of hope. And this is why people were saying, you know what, post-trade deadline, this thing isn't completely cooked. If we can figure out some things and get this thing on the right track? Can they do it in time as the play-in kicks up? I know a lot of you probably saw the Suns. They won again. The Suns are 3-1 in their last 4 games. We'll talk about who on the Suns is the reason for the turnaround and whether or not we have to worry, as we've boasted this 1.8% chance of the Kings falling out of the play-in. A night like last night, I had people texting me. I had people tweeting me, Allen, are you sure? Is you and Kyle sure it's 1.8? So we will get back to that, because last night really did change things. And am I crazy? I said this last night. Am I crazy to say that a game like last night, I know you would obviously want both, but does a game like last night kind of erase that Nuggets game? Am I reaching here? Does it kind of erase that Nuggets game? At the very least, it makes you feel a bit better, because nobody thought the Kings were going to get this game. And obviously you had the Nuggets game, and there was the foul that got unfouled and then refouled. But you saw that and you thought, man, now we're dealing with that loss, and you still got to take on the Cavs, the Thunder, blah, blah, blah. We know. But you come out and you win a game that nobody thought you were going to win. And now it feels a bit better as you move forward. And now you have the confidence the Kings do. That's not to say, and you got to take care of business tonight against the Bulls. This has trap game written all over it, and let's hope they can just stay away from it. But now they have the confidence to say, my brothers, we sat there missing 3 guys, 3 core rotation guys right now, and we beat the best team in the league, who was missing an all-star, don't get me wrong. But the Cavs, they have, and Kyle will tell you, he's told us before, the Cavs, they have rolled with no Donovan Mitchell. They have rolled with no Darius Garland. They have created such a beautiful system that they can swap guys in and out and get it done that way. So I don't necessarily want to hear that, because they've beaten plenty of team without Donovan Mitchell. They've beaten plenty of team without Darius Garland. And as we are watching March Madness and Vegas is on the brain, they still weren't favored last night. So it's not as if, because of who they were missing, right? So it's not as if this loss should have or this win should look any different simply because the Cavs are missing someone because of who the Kings were missing. And this kind of changes everything. This gives the Kings a real opportunity to take advantage of situations. Now, look, are they going to get the 8 seed? We'll get into the numbers. Yes, they're a little bit better than they were, but still not great, okay? They're now starting to resemble the chances of the Kings keeping their pick if they don't fall out the play-in. So it's not as if the world has changed. But I'll tell you this much. If you never lose a game again, you could definitely get the 8 seed. So just a great game, a great win. A lot of people are arguing back and forth between whether or not it's the best win of the season in general, the best win of Doug Christie's tenure. Obviously, for me, it's the best win post-trade deadline. I mean, that's no question. As far as whether it's the best win compared to the Celtics, based on situation, I do think it is. I really do. And I know that they were in Boston, and I get all that, and there was no De'Aaron Fox. But with what is on the line right now for the Kings, right, we didn't know what was to come out there in Boston. And honestly, the way that the Kings won that game, I'm not going to say – it was almost too good to be true. I'm not going to call it fluky, okay? But I believe in what I saw last night, and I'd have to look at the tape, more than what I saw out there in Boston. So to me, that is something – and Doug Christie said they'll go to this day and look back at the Boston tape and use that as a means to say, hey, guys, we can compete with the best in the league. Now they can do that again and again and again as you add to your film to say, look, Devin, when I call on you, you already know what it is. You know what you did in Cleveland. Look, when I call on you, DeMar DeRozan, you've been doing this for how long? You know what it is. Guys, we can win in a plethora of different ways, and last night we showed it. So I am hoping, and I would say I am expecting, for Doug Christie to have the dogs ready to take on the Bulls tonight, because Doug Christie, to me, as we're still trying to figure out who Doug is as a coach, this is where Doug really butters his bread. A game like tonight where, and look, obviously Doug's not playing, but a game like tonight where so much is going well and we've seen the Kings just come out and lay an egg. This is where Doug says we got to learn from that now. The last couple of years, I was on this coaching staff. Okay, maybe I didn't get to express what I wanted to express, but we ain't going to let that happen anymore. We're going to come out and we're going to make sure that this game last night wasn't all for naught. So that is the main goal. And Doug is very process oriented. He does not focus on the wins and the losses. But a night like tonight, I do think, yes, the process is important, but you got to come out and you got to make sure, guys, I don't really care how it looks. We just got to get this done. Whatever secret sauce we had last night, we have to tap back into that tonight, whatever that may be. Doug likes to put messages on the wall, whatever that message is. He might leave the same message, whatever he might be doing. But you have to get this tonight. I don't want to leave this win too soon because I do think it's been a rough couple of weeks for the Kings, and you deserve to enjoy this. You really do. And Kings fans, you deserve to enjoy this. I've seen multiple people say, oh, this was the loudest that the Kings, that Golden One has been. We heard the same thing during the Grizzlies game. So we know what the fans can do when the Kings show out. So it's just a level that they keep raising over and over again. And the hope is that they can raise it again tonight because each game means more and more as we get to the end of the season. Great show coming up for you. Like I said, live from Tom's. Look, like I said, I don't judge. Somebody's on vacation. Go get a burger. Just throw an egg on it. Now it's breakfast. Okay, go get some hash browns. Come on out. You can get yourself an adult beverage, something like that. Enjoy March Madness. Come say what's up to me. We're here till 2. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place,
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
Landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Going the length of the floor, they advance. Here's Mitchell, lost the ball, gets it back, surrounded by defenders, swings it. 3 on the way is missed by Ty Jerome. Rebound, Mitchell, up fake, launches from the corner for 3. It's too late. It doesn't make any difference. The Sacramento Kings have proved and pulled off the improbable with a victory tonight over the Cavaliers.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
The beautiful pipes of G-Man serenading us to a much-needed victory for the Sacramento Kings. And I think that's a term that we haven't really used, right? As much as it was a feel-good W, and wow, you can feel like the underdog took down Goliath, and David versus Goliath, all that. At the end of the day, it was also a much-needed win. The Kings needed this win in a number of ways. They needed this win, obviously, from the standpoint of the seedings. They also needed this win just from the feeling of, can we hang with the big dogs, right? I joke so much about the dude at YMCA who can jump out the gym. You know, you want him to play center just because he's the tallest one in there, but he's actually a guard, but something happened and he couldn't make grades. Whatever the case is, you never really got to see that dude's potential, right? Even though you knew what he could be. when you make the moves that the Kings made at the trade deadline, I think most of us were afraid, not necessarily that the parts weren't great, as I always use that food comparison where it's a Las Vegas buffet and it looks good, but it's just a bunch of random stuff. But also from the standpoint of we can make sense, right? And we can achieve our potential in a hurry because they don't really have a choice, right? They had February, they had All-Star break, now they have injuries. We can see what our potential is this season, or at least get closer. If the line is 100%, can we see this team at 70%, 80% of its potential and go into the offseason and Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox and the crew can decide, okay, what are they, right? It's really hard to break something down if you don't know what exactly it is. And I feel like last night, and Kyle, you can hop in here and help me out. Last night, I would say because you don't have Sabonis, and I know in the last segment I talked about addition by subtraction, but you got to think adding specifically Sabonis and Zach LaVine, even from a, hey, is there a little, and Jake LaRavia, is there a little redundancy issue here? But even with that being said, not to take anything away from them, I'm not going to go to 90%. I can't go over 90 just because you're missing a potential all-NBA player, an all-star and former all-star in Zach LaVine, and just a glue guy in Jake LaRavia. So I feel like last night, I'm sitting at about 80% of their potential. That's where I'm sitting. Realistically speaking, with the time that they have left, you bring back in Domantas, you bring back in Jake, you bring back in Zach, and we can see what 100% looks like. Last night, to me, was about 80% of what their potential could be. What do you think, Kyle?
Well, let's make this as simple as we can, right? Zach LaVine is averaging 23 points a game, and Jake LaRavia is averaging
the numbers. We got to go with the numbers.
You know me, just all the way through and through.
Okay.
So you have to make up about 30 points a game when you're talking about LaVine and LaRavia. And last night, the Kings found that in unexpected places. Devin Carter putting up 16 points. They had 7 different players end up in double figures last night, including a 10-point in the third quarter specifically, which I think might have been their finest quarter, maybe of the interim beam team era. You get 10 from Devin. You get 8 from Keegan Murray. You get 8 from Valanciunas. Keon adds 8. DeMar DeRozan had 7, and then obviously puts together the fourth quarter that he put together. I think it was just trying to find the offense was the bigger question for them, and having to make up 30 points is not an easy thing, and they did it by committee, and I think that's why they were putting themselves in a position to pull the game out at the end.
So what's your percentage?
75.
Okay.
I'll say
Well, I'm right there. I said 80, but I think you're right on with 75. I didn't want to sound too homer and say that's only 60% of what they could be, because that was a really, really good game. I still think that if you don't have Domantas Sabonis and you don't have Zach LaVine, even though the fit might have made more sense, if you can figure out the fit with those two very, very good elite players, then we're talking, okay, now we're getting closer to 95%, whatever it is, which we hope we will see this season. Realistically, will we? I truly don't know. There's only so much time. There's only so many games. But last night, I think, does so much for not just a team, but I think it does so much for a franchise. I think it does so much for a fan base based on when it happened. Because a couple nights ago, they take care of business themselves, but the Clippers getting that huge win against the Cavs, I mean, I felt crushed, right? And a lot of people felt crushed just based on, honestly, a couple different reasons, from the Cavs being hungry, now coming off 2 losses, to the Clippers essentially saying, hey, there's no way you're going to get to the 8 seed because there's no way you're going to beat the Cavs. And for the Kings to pull this off the way they did last night, with shorthanded, doing what they have to do, we've seen some weird things happen. And I think, as we pull the whole curtain back for a second, you start to look at some of the interesting things happen across the league, right? Where we've talked about the Warriors losing to the Nuggets actually sat and everyone was saying, oh, the Nuggets just sit people against the Lakers. The Nuggets actually dealing with some legit stuff here as they do not have Jamal Murray and Jokic again last night. They lose to the Lakers 120-108, even though they beat the Warriors with no Jokic and no Jamal Murray. So I would say this. The main thing is the main thing, and that is learning what your identity is, growing from that, and being prepared for the play. And I was listening to Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross on the way in, and Dave basically said, yeah, these are all tune-up games to get ready for the play, and there's not going to be too much movement. And I don't think Dave's wrong at all. But I will say that there's just some weird things happening right now, and I don't know if enough weird stuff is going to happen for the Kings to move anywhere, but I think it's very possible because you have the wear and tear of the season. You have people that are nicked and knacked, and they more so want to pay attention to getting into the playoffs healthy than their seeding, right? And maybe you do a little bit too much. I've seen some conversations about whether or not the Warriors and the Lakers are going to try to avoid. We got the avoiding each other thing going on. What if the Kings end up playing a team and the team is doing the avoid the other team thing? So there's a lot of things that can happen. We know what the percentages are. They did go up, but they're still pretty low. But a win like last night just puts into perspective anything can. I know it's any given Sunday when we're talking football, but anything can happen these last couple weeks of the season because all these teams have different goals, right? And some team, their goal isn't really seeding. Some teams, their goal, it is seeding, right? So they're going to make different decisions throughout the rest of this season. And, even Darius Garland, got to check in. All this stuff happened, of course, once Kyle and I were off the air. But we've continued to say this looks like a gauntlet based on all these teams at full health, right? And the Kings weren't even at full health. But when we discuss what we're actually going to see, anything can happen. There could be some bad breaks where the Clippers get a bunch of teams when they're healthy, and the Kings, because they're the Kings, right? Hey, we can sit a guy here, we can sit a guy there. You got to take advantage of it, and the Kings did. You got the Grizzlies with no Ja. You got the Cavs with no Darius Garland, and you took care of business. Now, you can't have a letdown against the Bulls tonight as the Bulls are playing, you could argue, the best basketball of their season. So it all starts tonight, and the Kings, they really did get it done. On the other side, we talk about those shorthanded Kings as they beat the number one seeded Cavs and how they did it based on the scoring and the defense. Don't go anywhere. We got March Madness. Come through Tom's Watch Bar. You can come, and we're giving away tickets, all right? You can enter to win free tickets to a Kings game. You come on out here. I can maybe, hey, Allen Stiles sent you, so get on out here while you can. The games are starting to heat up. We will do a bracket check pretty soon here because out of all the things we talked about yesterday and all the cheat codes I had, did I remember any of them? Not really. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Since the launch of the World Handicap System, a golfer's handicap index has been automatically calculated by taking their 8 best score differentials from their most recent 20 rounds. According to Golf Monthly Newsletter, that handicap is not designed to reflect average scores, but how likely you'll play on a course of average difficulty. Handicaps are generally split into 3 different groups: low, mid, and high. A recent report by the USGA showed that the average handicap index for a male is 14.2 and 28.7 for a female. A golfer with a handicap of 1 to 9 is considered to have a low handicap. A handicap of 10 to 19 is generally thought to be a mid-handicapper, and a higher handicap golfer is 20 and above. Nearly 50% of males are mid-handicappers, with 30% carrying low handicaps, and under 20% of female golfers are in the low and mid-handicap groups. Carry your handicap proudly and play on. It's supposed to be fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Sacktown Sports is bringing you the biggest live event in town. Whether you're rocking out or dancing the night away, check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Get ready for an epic night out. Papa Roach and Rise Against take over Golden One Center March 29th. That same night, comedy legends Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall bring the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Get ready to laugh your socks off. And for all you country fans, Lee Bryce and Walker Hayes hit Ironstone Amphitheater June 21st. Then head to Santa Rosa for Country Summer with Sam Hunt, Kane Brown, and Dustin Lynch, June 27th through the 29th. Then back to one of the most beautiful venues as Parker McCollum takes the stage August 16th at Ironstone Amphitheater in Murphys, California. Don't miss out. Find more info and score your chance to win tickets at SacktownSports.com. Again, get all the details on the hottest events happening in town and your chance to win tickets at SacktownSports.com.
Explore unbeatable lease offers at Folsom Buick GMC. Lease the 2024 GMC Hummer EV SUV for just $699 per month. The 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 for only $469 per month. Or the 2024 GMC Sierra Crew Cab Pro for just $219 per month. Plus, enjoy a 20-year, 200,000-mile powertrain warranty with any new vehicle purchase. Check dealer for exclusions and receive a Starbucks gift card when you visit our store. Visit Folsom Buick GMC today. See dealer for complete details.
Malik with 7 on the clock, 39 on the game clock, drives to the free throw line, pulls up 15-footer. He's got the 2-pointer. Timeout taken by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
And I got my bracket up. By the way, my winner, I told y'all, from a kid, I just love the color orange, and it's not even my favorite color anymore, but something with orange college teams, I'm just a sucker for, and I fell for it again. Well, I hope it works out in a world where all of the prognosticators are saying it could be an all number one Final Four. I only have one number one in my Final Four, and that's Duke. Okay, my Final Four is Duke taking on Tennessee, And the other side of the bracket, I really don't know what I was thinking. In Jay Ross's pool, I might have went a little outside the box too much, but I have Michigan State and Maryland. I fell for the Scott Van Pelt Terps situation. So I have Tennessee beating Michigan State in the championship. I do not have a number one getting to the championship. And the only number one I have in the Final Four is Duke. Now, to take a look, and I'm going to throw to you, Kyle, so you can give us your breakdown of what you have for your Final Four. But I'm looking the two games I have going right now in Creighton and Louisville. Yeah, I took Louisville. Right? I feel like those are two kind of hybrid. I mean, Louisville I would call a blue blood. Creighton is almost a Gonzaga variant where, hey, they're always really good. We know them because they'll pop up and, they had Dougie McBuckets, and they'll pop up in March Madness pretty often. But, those 8-9s are pick'ems. And I watched Louisville. They beat somebody that convinced me, but doesn't look very good now. And, yeah, I can be a sucker for those big conferences, and it does not look good as Creighton is kind of beating. I mean, a 16-point lead in college is like a 30-point lead in the NBA. So Louisville's got 16 more minutes to not make me look crazy, and you have High Point taking on, it just as a commercial, but High Point is down 10 to Purdue. I do have Purdue winning that game, but I have them losing to Clemson after that. I don't have Louisville or Creighton because that's what I was talking about, Kyle. I don't have Creighton or Louisville going far, so there's not very high stakes for me yet.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you end with, Kyle?
Well, so first of all, for the Creighton and Louisville thing, so I've watched less college basketball this year probably than I have any year in my life. So what I did with the 8-9s and the 7-10s is I literally pulled out a coin and flipped a coin to decide those games.
That's right. You did say that.
And I have Creighton, so I like that. It's fun to just have the hope that your bracket's going to keep going perfect. Like the first game is always a 7-10 or an 8-9, and I feel like they do that on purpose because it's like they always half your brackets are lost after the first game, and they do that, I feel like, on purpose every year.
Yes.
So Jason Ross in here had a Louisville High Point double dip, so it's not looking good for him. To answer your question, though, I have all 1 seeds except for Iowa State going to the Final Four. So that's what, Florida, Duke,
Auburn,
and Houston. No, I have Auburn losing. So Auburn loses.
Got it.
So I
got it.
Yeah, Florida is my champion in one. I think Houston's my champion in another. But in both, I ended up with Duke. What's that? Duke, Houston, Florida, and Iowa State.
Yeah, I have a smaller pool that I'm in, and I have Auburn winning that one, which I didn't like that either because they're the number 1 overall seed. I have Auburn beating Duke in the championship, and in that one, I have Duke beating Tennessee and Auburn beating Florida. So I went more chalky in that one, but I'm swinging big in Jay Ross's, and I could be done by the end of this week.
Well, here's the good news for you. You won't be worse than Jay Ross because last year he was like 248 out of 250. So at least you won't be that bad.
Okay. All right. So I hope I hope their bracket is still perfect by the end of today because it's already looking pretty rocky for me right now. Speaking of rocky, a lot of people, I'm looking at the SAC chat and I'm working on getting the text line up during the next break. But a lot of people want to talk about. So I was at the game last night. I don't know about what are they calling it? The astronaut view or the fan view or the angel view?
Fan point.
The fan point that was going on last night. I don't know what in the world happened there. But Kyle, you were watching the game, I'm assuming. What was the deal?
Sort of. So here's my roundabout story. I ended up going to the game last night, but I left like midway through the third quarter. So I watched the fourth quarter at home, but by that point, I think people had hated the angle so much that I never got to see it live.
Okay.
I think they abandoned it after the second quarter or something.
Yeah. But we don't look, like I said, we know, and I saw Deuce tweet about it because Deuce said people were tagging him saying, tell them to fix it, as if, and Deuce saying, you think I'm in control of this? I know Draper probably got some tweets too. So we know how people felt about it. I was just curious if you saw it, because I saw some clips on social media, but I didn't get to watch the game like that. But it feels like, and now I feel left out a little bit, but a lot of people didn't like it. But, at least, hey, look, Kings are 1-0 with and somebody said, fans are so funny. Somebody said the Kings went on a run after they got rid of that view.
Yeah, because I guess from what I understand, I'm actually less helpful than you. I haven't even seen the camera angles yet that people are talking about, but someone on the text line, by the way, is calling it the fan vantage point. Maybe that's what it was called, but when they went on that run in the
which fan? Like, that's what people were saying. The astronaut fan from that's out in space.
I saw some people were posting the Bill Belichick meme where he has the glasses or the binoculars at the combine, and that's where people were filming from. But the third quarter was when they went on the run, and if I understand correct, they had just given up on the cam by like partway through the second quarter because everyone hated it. But
and that's. Go ahead.
The whole way through the broadcast, though, they had, like, in the top right corner where it says, like, NBC Sports California, like, next to it, it had a thing that said Vantage Point or Fan Advantage Point or whatever on the graphic, even though they weren't using the terrible camera angle anymore.
Yeah, and some people thought was the camera, the current camera broken. From what I've heard, I think it was planned. It just did not. People were not feeling it. So I don't know when we'll see it again, but when it is featured, the Kings do beat really good teams, best team in the NBA. So who knows when we'll see? Will we see it again tonight? All right. And if you don't want to deal with the vantage point or whatever it is, of course, you can hear the beautiful angelic voice of G-Man right here on the flagship Sacktown Sports. How did the Kings shorthanded beat the number one seeded Cavs despite scoring 15 first quarter points? Well, the Kings started the game 2 for 19 from the field, good for 11%, then finished 44 of 72, good for 61%. 7 different Kings scoring 12 or more points. The starters, Devin Carter and Trey. And I got to give Trey Lyles is definitely the unsung hero from last night. Some big boards. So I definitely want to spend some time on Trey Lyles. Even Markelle Fultz got in on the scoring before he smoked that ridiculous. That double pump just didn't make sense to me, and we'll get into it. I want to get through these numbers that Kyle so beautifully put together. 43-point third quarter, second most points Cleveland has allowed in a quarter all season. 5 different Kings scored 7 or more points. Devin Carter again, Keegan Murray, Jonas Valanciunas, Keon Ellis, DeMar DeRozan. Keegan Murray talked about playing more aggressively. We'll get to that sound on the other side, and we'll definitely hear from one Devin Carter. But, the way I see this thing is it just was how to bounce back and to take a punch and decide, hey, you know what? We got strong chins, and we're gonna punch back. And really, it wasn't so much the Cavs punching them in the face. It wasn't even one of their classic Cavalanches. It was more so that the Kings just felt a bit out of sorts, and that's what you worry when you don't have a Domantas Sabonis, I would say, more so than a Zach LaVine, because Zach LaVine is still finding his footing, but specifically when you're missing both of those guys, but they found a way to get it done. And those found money games, and you're playing with house money, everyone just played free, and that's why I'm so interested in what happens tonight, because it's not playing with house money tonight. You need to win this game. And now the Bulls are playing with house money. Hey, these guys, it's a back-to-back, coming off of a great game against the Cavs. We know they're looking over us. We're not looking over them because we got bigger fish to fry. So this is the W that we can get. So, there are 2 outcomes here and 2 kind of perspectives to look at, and we'll see which one ends up being the successful one. On the other side, we hear from Keegan Murray and we hear from Devin Carter on staying ready and sticking to the game plan. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lifetime guaranteed Power Torque professional hand tools only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's March, and you're in luck because at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, they're slam dunking the competition with unbeatable deals on overhead doors. Hey there, Jason Ross here, and whether you're upgrading your home just like we did or need a reliable, secure garage door, they've got the perfect match for you. And March is the perfect time for a fresh start. Take your home to the next level with high-quality doors that stand strong, look amazing, and are installed by trusted professionals. The winning results we got is more than we could have asked for, and you can do the same. So visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com today and check out their showroom as well. And when you do, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and find out about the $150 off a new garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. Your dream door, just like us, is a click away. You can call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came back to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Danzig live. With special guests Down, Aboth, and Cro-Mags. Saturday, March 22nd, 6 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. On sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Danzig.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you gotta drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Paul Mitchell, The School, Sacramento, and Stoney's Rock and Rodeo. Find out more at CITPFest.com. Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
I don't know. Look, we're having a great time here, and I'm not going to fall for it. A lot of people are having some fun with the vantage point and some of those conversations about what happened last night with the crew. And Brian is saying that it was a new thing to run during the second quarter to give fans different perspectives. He also goes on, it was definitely not it. So that's from Brian. And that's all fine and good. Now we have, and apologies if I pronounce your name incorrectly, but Vathanak, I think that's correct. Vathanak is saying, or Vathanik, you can correct me, please, because I'm going to correct you. Can we start Fultz already? He is so fun to watch. I'm just going to call you V until I know that I'm saying your name correctly. V, are you trolling? Are you because if you're not trolling, explain yourself. Because I at least thought I would wake up this morning and see some Devin Carter starting conversations, skipping over Devin Carter, who essentially took Markelle Fultz's minutes, and Markelle Fultz off that ridiculous double pump dunk. V, I think you're trolling, and it's a troll well done. I'll give you that much. Kyle, let's get to that Keegan Murray sound on playing more aggressive before we hear from the one, the only Devin Carter and what he did to stay ready. Here's Keegan Murray.
I feel like our biggest thing that we've talked about as a team is making the other team feel us, making us the aggressor, and try and put them on their heels and things like that. And we weren't doing that last week. We did that when we were on that winning streak earlier, but I feel like we kind of came back to that. We just have to stay consistent with it because it's tough to beat us. Yeah, I mean, we're a really small team. So if we can get guys across the offensive glass, get defensive rebounds, that's our biggest thing. Without Domas, obviously JV's a big part of that. Trey's a big part of that. I'm a big part of that. And then obviously guys sprinkling in with those rebounds. So let's take a collective effort, obviously, to replace Domas.
That was Keegan Murray, and Keegan Murray with 4 rebounds on the night, 3 assists. That's a good bit for Keegan Murray, and he has a game with 13 points. Good for the best plus-minus on the Kings last. Well, it has to be. I was going to say on the court, but funny enough, it's not the best on the court, but best on the Kings at plus 15, and that's exactly what you like to see. 5 of 11, 3 of 7 from three-point range, and a couple of those threes in high-pressure moments. That's what I want to see from Keegan, right? It's all fun and good when it's the first quarter or the first half and Keegan Murray, the chants are going. That's great. Don't get me wrong. But I want those chats and I want those chants later in the game when the pressure is on, because in a couple years here, Keegan's going to be taking those shots. So I loved what I saw from Keegan Murray, and that was great stuff. I'm just looking here at the box score, and I want to give some more kudos. We're going to get to Christie's cuts here in the 11 o'clock hour, but give some more kudos to Doug Christie, because, look, Jonas Valanciunas he played 25 minutes. We know that they got the 2 big boys. They got their own. We have the meets with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So it felt like Jonas Valanciunas had to play. But I was sitting next to my guy, Chris Watkins, who will on here in the 12 o'clock hour, and Chris is saying, you can't play him right now. And what happened? About a minute after Chris said that, Jonas Valanciunas was back on the bench. Rough game for him. I know we think just big to big, but Evan Mobley was a dog, and he was cooking everyone. And it got to a point where it's Jonas Valanciunas minus 17 on the night. He's been great for the Kings, but Doug Christie saw, hey, it's just not working, so we're not going to force it. And those are the types of things that show the evolution of Doug Christie as a coach. I just didn't see that plus minus. I thought, whoa, minus 17. And Doug Christie, he made sure, hey, if it's not working, we're not going to force it. Kyle, we got a couple sounds from Devin Carter. Let's get to the first one, which I think is a real good indication of who he is as a player and as a competitor, always staying ready. Here it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, I just know what's best for the team. Just listen to my coaches, just trying to stay ready regardless. If I play 0 minutes or 40 minutes, I just go out there, play same way every single time. But, blessed to have the opportunity to go out there and play tonight and, just try to make the best of it.
I can't lie to you, Kyle, and get the drop ready. When he said blessed, the first thing I thought was bless me with this body. I thought that was exactly I thought that was exactly where he was going. It's not where he went. And I think a big thing that a lot of people maybe don't realize, or when you put it into perspective, these NBA players, they are the best of the best of the best, right? So everybody knows that kid who you never have to worry about them in the starting lineup. Maybe you were that kid for a certain amount of time, regardless of the sport, whether it was baseball, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, anything like that. But what's funny when you view it this way is that there are athletes that never happens to, right? Then there are athletes that the conversation of starting is never a conversation until college. Then there are athletes where it's never a conversation until the NBA. And for Devin Carter, my guess is that Devin Carter has never had to look at a starting lineup and wonder. We'd have to look back maybe the first year at Providence or his freshman year. But when they are in their prime of whatever timeline they're in, these guys never have had to look at a starting lineup, ever. And that's also true for D2 athletes, D3. These guys, they never looked at a lineup. Never looked at a lineup. Then you get drafted. You're a fairly high draft pick, and you kind of got to go back to somewhere that you haven't been in maybe a decade, somewhere you maybe haven't been in over 2 decades, somewhere that maybe you've never been in your athletic career. So it takes a certain type of mentality to understand that and still be ready for the moment, still keep that swagger about them. And I don't think people say swagger. Still keep that aura, that riz about them, okay? And make sure that they take care of business. Kyle, let's hear from Devin again on sticking to the game plan last night.
No, we came out, executed a game plan to what we prepared for. You know, Cavs coming in, they're a hot team. We knew they were coming off a back-to-back. So just me, what was going through my mind, just, picking up full court, trying to make them more tired than, what they just were. But now my teammates found me. They gave me the confidence to just go out there and play my game. I knew we were down a few guys, so just knowing I was going to get a little extra tick tonight. So I just try to make the most out of it.
And I think what happens with these guys is it's a humbling experience, right? And I'm not saying I would never say any athlete, quote unquote, needs to be humbled. But I do think that part of that humbling experience helps you in the long run, because like we talked about, those conversations of starting, not starting, some players never have to think about it until they're 40 years old, right? There are conversations about DeMar DeRozan. So DeMar DeRozan, going back to his rookie year or whenever it was, DeMar DeRozan now, I haven't had to look at a lot, and he still hasn't. But at some point, we assume that he probably will. So these guys, and I know they get paid a bunch of money and they live a lavish lifestyle and they're part of the 1%. I get all that. But to go out there and still compete to earn your paycheck, I think is a huge thing that kind of falls through the cracks, because it's just an assumption. And people that play video games, and not that I'm not hating on gamers. I know a couple of the Kings insiders are gamers. You know who you are, Brandon Nunes. So I'm not hating, but it's sometimes hard to understand, hey, this is not just a player with an 82 overall with, a certain jump shot or things like that. They're getting moved around and they're experiencing things on top of the injury from Devin Carter that they've never had to deal with before. So for him to kind of find his stride, you could make the argument, and we did this with the interim beam team. I'm not going to do the math off the top of my head, but if you look at Devin Carter and where he's actually at based on when he started the season in January, subtract what? Those 3 months. So for Devin Carter, what is it, December? In reality, if he had started the season, so it's December or January really for Devin Carter's rookie year.
It's Christmas right now.
It's Christmas right now. So when you put it in that perspective, this guy and what he's been able to accomplish in a changing, fluctuating role with a guy in Keon Ellis who does a lot of similar things, it's pretty dang impressive. On the other side, we hear from Doug Christie, the man, the myth, the legend himself, interim beam team coach. Christie's Cuts when we return. Now in South Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move, that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning?
RV wins!
Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast?
RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage as a service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
You've heard the saying, penny wise, pound foolish, right? It means you do something that will save you a little bit right now, just pennies, but that ends up costing you pounds in the end.
People put off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time or spend the money to get it done.
But it only takes 90 minutes and costs just $87, which is just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up.
You'll also save money on your energy bills, and your system will last longer.
So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Call Bell Brothers for a precision tune-up and professional cleaning today.
Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hey Mom, hey Dad, spring break is just around the corner. Take advantage of the extra time with your kids and schedule a fun and convenient dental appointment at Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. It's our mission to deliver more fun and less fear. Our dental rock stars strive to give nothing but the best experience to both parents and kids. We have several convenient appointments available this week, even on Saturdays. With locations throughout the Sacramento area, we have a practice near you. To book online, go to kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, where you can schedule an appointment today.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Inbound to DeRozan. Final seconds of the third quarter. Left wing feed, Lyles. Goes back cross court. Open. Keegan Murray to beat the buzzer. Who scores the three-pointer? Kings back on top. 1 and a fraction seconds left. With Donovan Mitchell waits until the red lights come on before he launches from well behind the midcourt line.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
1 hour down, 3 to go as we take you up to 2 p.m. Drive Guys will also be out here at Tom's Watch Bar. And we are rocking and rolling with March Madness. People are starting to slide through, okay, trying to, elongate their lunch breaks. There's nothing wrong with that. You deserve to do that on this Friday Eve. By the way, speaking of, it is my Friday. I am out tomorrow, as I've mentioned before. Brendan Nunes, I can confirm, and we will be hearing from Brendan Nunes today. He will join us on the show. Brendan will be covering for me tomorrow. So Brendan will have the reactions to the Bulls game as we hope, and I'll be watching, don't get me wrong, as we hope that we will be celebrating another Kings victory. Kyle, let's now get on to, and I will give an update on the scores. My Louisville pick is cooked. Luckily, I don't have them going too far. Purdue and Louisville, somebody was carried off the court, and I don't know if it was an ankle or what it was, but one of their players carried off the court. I mean, they're down 12. They're not completely done yet, but it doesn't look good. Purdue up 45-39. Was talking to some people that have Purdue going fairly far. I do not. So that one doesn't hurt me too much, and neither does Louisville. But, the whole perfect bracket thing is going out the window. Kyle, it's time for Christie's Cut.
You bring that every single time. Your people love you for it, and they respect you regardless of the outcome. You want the win always, but the first step in the process is to be consistent with your approach, your professionalism, your aggressiveness, your physicality, all the little things that ultimately equate to a win. You have to be consistent with it. Big time performances across the board. DeMar, spectacular. Keegan, just loves what he continues to bring defensively. Keon knocking down some threes. Malik was great. Devin Carter, welcome to the damn NBA. Big time. So excited and proud for him. Trey, big time rebounds. Jonas holding us down. Markel coming in and giving minutes. Isaac, just across the board. Everybody that came in the game contributed, and that's ultimately all you can ever ask. So super excited for them to compete against some of the best talent in the league and fight the way they did.
Keegan and Devin talked about executing the game plan well. How satisfied were you with the game plan, and what are some examples of where you saw that being executed?
On the very first play of the game, Strus came off and got downhill. And I had talked about going under if the screen was super high. Next play, Malik goes under, nothing. So it's just the ability to communicate at a high level. Physicality is something that I wanted from them. So when I went to Devin and he got in the game, I said, 0 airspace. Like, you go and you touch him and you make sure that he understands that you're going to be here. And when you do that, 2 things happen. The player step up or he back up. And for Devin, there were players that stepped up, but at the same time, he backed some people up too. And that's exciting to watch them. Keegan with with the Reds, with the rear view contests, with all the little things that we ask of them. And it's difficult, man. It's a lot. Try to keep it as simple as we can, but at the same time, try to mix in things, because I know that these guys are so special that you can't do it the same way every time, because they will figure out they will problem solve. And Donovan Mitchell is probably one of the best problem solvers that this game has. So credit to both of those guys for bringing the physicality and trying to follow a game plan and see it through.
Great stuff from Coach Doug Christie. And I loved what he said. I never thought about that for just elite basketball players and calling them problem solvers, and him saying that Donovan Mitchell, one of the best problem solvers in the NBA. Today is not the day for the conversation, but Donovan Mitchell, he still confuses the heck out of me as far as who he is as a basketball player. This season it's been a little bit different. He's not taking the high volume shots, but I made a joke with Chris Watkins yesterday that Donovan Mitchell has about 3 moves in his bag, and they're all unstoppable, but he's just very, very confusing. Let me double check what he even had last night. So yeah, he had 26, and it felt like a quiet 26. Got to the free throw line 9 times. He was 1 of 6 from 3, which I think changed some things, which is crazy that his first 3 was essentially at the end of the game. And if I were, I've been tough on the Kings when they make threes when the game is basically over. Now, it was a tough 3, but again, making those threes when your team is down is a lot different than making them when you're trying to hold on to a lead. And I'm sure he's done plenty of that this season to the tune of them having the best record in the NBA. But, Doug said it best, just so many good things that happened last night to roll into tonight, and we hope that momentum carries on. Trey Lyles, I wanted to spend some time on Trey because I've been tough on Trey. Everybody knows
Trey
I have
Lyles movement.
Plus 10, okay, he played 30 minutes, and he had 13 points, 1 of 4 from three-point land. But to me, without having Domantas Sabonis and Jonas Valanciunas kind of struggling out there, you needed the more mobile center option. And Trey, 7 rebounds out of him and 5 assists and a steal. That, to me, one of the most underrated performances all season from Trey Lyles. And, we're all going to talk about Devin Carter. We're all going to talk about, we haven't talked about DeMar DeRozan yet, but DeMar DeRozan, his ability to close games, we know what he can do. Malik Monk, some big buckets towards the end. But Trey Lyles, to me, another guy, right, who has kind of been worked around this lineup. Once Valanciunas showed up, he wasn't really getting playing time. Then Sabonis goes down. At one point, Isaac Jones was getting run, and Isaac Jones did get some run last night, got 4 minutes. So Trey Lyles, to me, would get the Unsung Hero award for last night. I mean, whenever the Cavs would miss, we cannot sleep on, because when we watched the Kings and the effort, right, when both times they played the Warriors and they just couldn't get a rebound, and the Warriors got chances over and over again, we needed somebody to step up and say, I'm not letting that happen, okay? We just defended our butts off, and we're not going to sell all of this because we ate buttered popcorn before the game and the ball slips all over our hands. And now we know how much does it kill a vibe when a team misses, they get the offensive rebound, and it never fails. They make a 3-pointer. It never, ever fails. Trey Lyles said, I'm not letting that happen. I got 7 rebounds for y'all. I got 5 assists for y'all. I got 13 points for y'all. I saw Trey take it to the rack. I saw Trey do things that we haven't seen him do, and I wouldn't say in a very long time, but consistently. So, again, Trey Lyles is kind of a parallel, not the same, but it can be kind of Harrison Barnesy, because you see flashes from him, but you don't see that all the time. And then when you see that, you wonder, why can't we get that all the time? And obviously he's battled injury and things like that. But when he is locked in like that, and it's almost as if he knows on days where, hey, we're down Domas. It doesn't look good with Valanciunas. All right, y'all need me. And maybe he struggles with a little bit of his fit and the redundancy as well with, okay, which direction are we going? But kudos to Trey Lyles and what he did last night. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Everyone's talking about Devin Carter, and he deserves to be talked about. Everyone's talking about just the win in general. But the Kings do not win that game last night if Trey Lyles does not play to the level that he played. And the tape will show that. So great notes on Trey Lyles, and Doug just discussing executing the game plan. Doug, whether it's on this show, I'm not going to speak for anybody else's show on anybody else's airwaves, but Doug, but I have been there in a couple of the pregame and postgame press conferences, some of the conversations of game plan, right? And we do this thing with these former players, with these rah-rah guys, where it's, if you're rah-rah, you're not X's and O's. If you're X's and O's, you're not rah-rah. And not giving anyone room to grow, whether that's Dan Campbell, Nick Sirianni, Mike Tom, whoever it is, right? And maybe some of them don't. But Doug Christie and what he's done and his timeline, you're starting to see some of the same things that we have seen from coaches that have had success in this league. When we execute the game plan, and I guess the question of whether or not there is a game plan is honestly insulting, right? And it's disrespectful. Clearly, these guys are going into every single game with a game plan. Now, are they executing the game plan? That doesn't mean that, and it also doesn't mean that the game plan is always correct. But Doug is starting to push the right buttons here. And as we talked about earlier in the show, in a weird way, it might be easier to push buttons when you're missing some guys and there's not as much fighting for playing time or basketball politics going on. But I got to give a shout out to Doug Christie and the job he did, having the boys ready, having the dogs ready to get unleashed and get Golden One Center popping. And I think that now it's time for him to continue to butter that bread with a huge win tonight against the Bulls, because it does have letdown written all over it. That is for sure. I said we talk about Devin Carter, and last night, Kyle, I don't know if you cut it already, when I said Devin Carter is not Derek White, yeah, I might have been wrong. This brother might be Derek White in about 2 to 3 years. Huge game from the Rook. Let's talk about it on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You know the old early bird and worm thing? Well, here's an early bird special and Bonnie's lowest price of the year. Imagine an entire new HVAC system replacement, both heating and cooling, for as low as, ready? $11,789. Take advantage of that. $11,789. Hurry though, this is a limited offer and ends April 15th. The sooner you act, the sooner you save. Plumbing, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Inbounds pass to Merrill in the corner, swings it out on the wing to Mobley. Back to Merrill, drives to his left, feeds a pass, stolen by Malik Monk. Got Merrill to beat. Behind the back, bounce pass, hammer time, thrown down by Devin Carter.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Devin Carter, after that dunk on that steal, it felt like he looked at the bench for a very long time. And if I were him, I would have looked at the bench even longer. Devin Carter is a game wrecker. That's what we're learning about Devin Carter. You can have questions about his fit as a pure point guard. You can have questions about his shooting motion, even though he's been shooting that thing. You can have questions, and they're all legitimate questions. But as a rookie in this league, I don't care if he's an older rookie. He's still a rookie in this league. And I think Providence is in the Big East now, but a smaller school at that as well. This stuff is good. And coming off of injury, this stuff is going to take time. And Derek, I almost said Derek, not yet. Devin Carter, to me, is showing just exactly who he could be in flashes. We've discussed that his timeline is not the same as these other rookies because of the injury. It's really only December, late December for Devin Carter because of when he actually started playing. And what he is doing already is pretty darn impressive. So I have this pulled up, and I just did it for fun. 2017, 2018. I don't know if there was an injury or not, okay? And funny enough, if we continue this comparison, at age 23, this brother played 17 games, averaging 3.2 points per game and averaging a 0.8 threes a game. That brother was Derek White. Now, like I said, there might have been injuries, okay? Age 24, for the San Antonio Spurs, he played 67 games. He started 55. He averaged 9.9 points per game, shooting 33% from three-point land, averaging only 2.1 threes a game. That's Derek White, age 25. Started 20 games. Played in 68. Okay? 11.3 points per game. 3.3 rebounds. We know Devin Carter is already a better rebounder than Derek White was at this age or at this stage in the game. He shot 36% from three on 3.2 attempts per game. 2021, age 26 now, an old soul if you let some tell it. 15.4 points per game. Okay, he averaged and he had a 34% shooting percentage from three. He averaged 3 rebounds a game, 3.5 assists per game. So you see where I'm going here. Now he's already 26. 27 is when he eventually moved to the Celtics, but same idea. He's shooting, this is where it shoots up, 6.8 threes a game. So it took him about 4 years. He shot 6.8 threes a game at a tune of 34%. And he's still, more of a playmaker, sure. So he's going to have 3.5 assists and 3 rebounds, whereas Devin Carter right now might have more rebounds and less assists. So I'm just using Derek White as an example. And I know yesterday, I do think Derek White is a better playmaker. I also think Devin Carter is a better rebounder. So you never know what these guys are going to be. And I'm calling myself out. Can you create a freezing cold take in under 24 hours?
Of course.
And Derek White, nobody knew that he was going to be Derek White. And I would say that even though he got drafted later than Devin Carter, we'd have to look back at that draft class. But Devin Carter was part of a draft class that was supposed to be terrible. So even though he went sooner, they were supposed to have less talent. So we have, and I'm just saying the collective we, those that are out there in the Devin Carter hive, Fryer, I hear you, and you can just ignore this. But those that have been tough on Devin Carter, I think I myself can be a part of this microwave society and just get so caught up in what Dalton Connect's doing and what Khalil Ware is doing on a bad team. Not that the Kings are great. And forget that everybody has their own process. When you have a kid, every baby's different. How about this? Every rookie is different. Everyone rookies differently. And Devin Carter is showing just exactly who he could be. So this is what happened last night. 16 points, a career high. 10 points in the third quarter, career high. 7 steals in the last 2 games. He only had 6 in his entire career before Monday. 30 minutes played, career high. He played 30 minutes. He dunked on Sam Merrill, which was just awesome, and got his first DPOG crown. So honestly, he stole the show, and you see what he's able to do. Because a couple games ago, he tried to baptize someone, and he ended up missing the dunk. So he tried, and that dunk would have actually been crazier. And I don't even know if it was on someone. He just took off. So he's got that sneaky athleticism where he just jumps high for no reason, and he's got a crazy wingspan, and he can rebound the basketball at a high level. So let's take some time here with Devin Carter and see what could happen. Kyle, we have that sound with Doug Christie talking about Devin Carter and Malik Monk. Let's start with Doug if you got it.
Devin brings the physicality, the swagger, the confidence. all the things that as a coach, well, I just speak for myself, like that I expect out of my team. There's a calmness and a competition in him. My grandma used to say, still waters run deep, and he brought it big time.
That was Doug Christie on Devin Carter. Now let's hear from what Malik Monk had to say about his teammate. Here it is.
How big was Devin Carter tonight?
Huge. He was one of the reasons he won the game. I think this is his best game so far as a pro. So, yeah, kudos to Devin.
Does he get out of rookie duties for a performance like that?
No.
Really? What about the dunk, though? Rating-wise, where does that rate on?
That was up there. Yeah, about an 8, 9. Yeah, that's up there. That's up there for sure. Because he took out far. Yeah. So, baby, you good? Yeah.
What's impressed you most about him? Just even in these, I mean, he's obviously been a contributor in some of these games leading up to tonight. Obviously.
How well he is in the passing lanes. How his anticipation on defense is great. I haven't seen that since Keegan. Not saying he up there with Keegan, but I haven't seen that since Keegan came. And yeah, that's been great.
That was Malik Monk on Devin Carter. And if you notice Malik kind of talking to someone, I believe that was Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine popped in there. He was out last night with for personal reasons. So we will have all those updates for you in our preview in the 1 o'clock hour. But good to see him back in the locker room with the guys to, just kind of check in and celebrate the win a little bit. But, yeah, the Devin Carter note, I mean, look, Keon is still very young in his game, and I see someone on Tom Brody on the Sack Chat saying Devin Carter and Keon Ellis can be, well, he's saying a lesser version of D. White and Drew Holiday. Yeah, lesser version for now. Who knows if it's going to be lesser forever? And, I hear you, Tom, and it's just the comparison. That's a beautiful thing. I just like Devin Carter's mentality, and this is what I think the Providence fan base tried to tell us. And I know Fryer is probably in the building tonight in the Sack Chat and on the text line and the call line as well, 916-339-1140, and be a part of the conversation. We're here at Tom's Watch Bar watching my Louisville Cardinals lose in the first round. So that's not great, but it's a great time. Yeah, it's not. But when it comes to what we heard about Devin Carter, it's really something you have to watch, right? And these glue guys, and everyone knows a glue guy from middle school to high school to college, where it's not that they don't have the same level of talent, but when you ask, hey, what is it that he does really well? It's not really the sexy things. It's not, when he boogies off the dribble, it's crazy, and he's crossing up ankles, and he's doing this, he's doing that. No, he's not doing that. So when you fire up highlight reels for the NBA draft, like I do, that's the type of stuff I'm looking for. And I'm not necessarily seeing that with Devin Carter. Then I think, is that what the team needs, right? Or is it a big body that's going to be able to block shots and stretch the floor? So he doesn't fit into those things. But at the same time, he fits into his own box of dog. He fits into his own box of, I'm just going to help get the job done, right? And you're going to see that in a lot of different ways. He is what you call, my friends, a gamer. That is Devin Carter. And if you have a gamer on your team, there's a very good chance that you're going to be competitive in each and every game. I am compiling a team of gamers. That's what Doug Christie wants, dogs and gamers, a little bit of both. You need your skill players as well, but if you don't have a gamer on your team, if you don't have a dog, you're not doing too much, and we know that because I think there's some teams in the Western Conference that might not have a gamer, that might not have a dog, and if they run into the Kings, that might be a problem. On the other side, we continue. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. All right. Kyle has whipped out his TI-84 calculator for the probability, and maybe the 8 seed after last night isn't dead. I'm still focused on the 9 seed. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by California Sun.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Thursday. Out the door, things may be a little soggy and damp as those showers move through in the overnight. We're drying out for today with some areas of patchy fog expected for the morning. For the afternoon, sun and clouds mixing in. Highs today in the mid-60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Free wellness, red light therapy, infrared, trim pod, cold plunge, halo therapy, sunbeds, and more. All free during Wellness Weekend at California Sun Wellness Spas. No sign-up required. Free at all California Sun Wellness Spa locations this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. CaliforniaSun.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business.
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder. Thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Paul Mitchell, The School, Sacramento, and Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer & Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. When buying a new grill, every detail matters. For March, grab a $149 gift with purchase of every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill, including a pizza lover starter kit and much more. More March savings include up to $79 off Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel that boasts quality. See how Napoleon will help you achieve the perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today with your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Allen Stiles, Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Okay, it's basically official that Louisville is cooked. And what is it? So I'm 1 for 2 so far, 1 for 3, 2 for 3, something like that. Okay, so now they're rocking and rolling. Houston, and I did not value Houston at all. I just feel like these smaller schools, they have their window, and if you don't get the window, I feel like I'm putting Houston in the Gonzaga tree now. Hey, you didn't do it. I don't know when you're going to do it, and I don't know that you're ever going to do it. So I cannot take you, Houston. But Houston is smacking SIUE. What is that? Southern
CUE.
Southern Eastern Illinois.
It's Southern Illinois University. Evans? No, it can't be Evansville. It's something. Anyways, I love.
Well, they're losing by 16, so we can pay attention to their name if they catch up.
Yeah,
they're losing by 16 with 6 minutes left in the first half. So that's not good in college basketball, right? So Houston looks to be off and rolling. Creighton has officially beaten Louisville. Wisconsin is beating Montana by 8. That is at halftime right now. And it looks like the next couple games, it looks like Clemson and McNeese State, they're kicking off here. And I'm pretty sure that Coach McNeese State just got an extension, and I think I fell for it. No, I didn't fall for it.
No, he's going to NC State.
Okay, so he's leaving.
Yes, he already took another job before they even played a game.
Lord. Oh yeah, I took Clemson. I'm glad I didn't even know that, but I took Clemson.
The problem is McNeese State has the aura of America's favorite. What is his name? The team manager,
boombox guy.
Yeah, the team manager.
He got an NIL deal.
He got multiple. Man. He got Buffalo Wild Wings deal.
Okay, well, look, they're more concerned with the boom. If the best thing about the team is the team manager, what are we doing here? Come on. And that I know that's one of the most boomer takes I think I may have ever had on the air, but that's how I feel. And hopefully they don't beat Clemson.
Because you probably hated Sister Jean too, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, that's different. Now, come on now. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's Lent right now. I'm not being disrespectful to
Sister Jean's still with us. How about that?
I'm just saying.
I wasn't expecting 103 years old, was not expecting that.
Yeah. So that is what is going on in March Madness right now. And more people are walking in, enjoying some good food. I see my boss chowing down over here. I'm like, dang, okay, I guess I you know what? Because I don't know if I want to, because we'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Kyle and I feel like when I do go to the doctor for my checkup, there's going to be something wrong because of my metabolism from eating within a 5-minute span, full meals within a 5-minute span. I'm sure that's not good for you. So today I think I might just chill, wait for the show to end, not have to worry about dropping some nachos or a burger. I had the burger before. It's very good here if you do stop by. So I think that's what I'm going to do, Kyle, because, sometimes I'm out here munching during breaks, and Kyle will try to put me on video because he's a bad person and try to get me caught up while I'm stuffing my face. But, now what?
Well, let's pump the brakes there a little bit, because the first thing I try to do is you come back dancing to all the music that I play, and I try and get you, but you see me reach for the camera and you stop.
That's true.
With the food, you can't really stop when you're housing a giant bite of a banh mi or
banh mi last night. Yeah, and shout out Christopher Lott picking up the best banh mi's in Sacramento. As we get back to the Kings conversation and we have the playoff probability report, I just want to read off some of these texts that we're getting in the Sack chat, because a couple people, RJ Alexander, and I had someone tag me last night, just say, I've been a fan since the 80s, and I want to apologize to you, Allen, because you picked the Kings to beat the Cavs, and I'm basically saying that they were some version of a bad fan, if you will, or just feeling bad they didn't believe in their team. Now you have RJ Alexander on the Sack Chat at Styles Files. I play fair ball in real life. I apologize for the disrespect I've shown to Devin Carter. I was caught up on the picks we missed and not thinking about Carter missing Vegas and summer and training camp. And I just got to say, I think a lot of fans out here And this is why the Kings fan base is so awesome, because a lot of people wouldn't wear it the way that Kings fans wear it. I'm also saying you don't necessarily have to wear it, right? You know, we don't police fandom on this show. You feel the way you feel. And sometimes it's good to be wrong, right? I mean, I had my feelings on Devin Carter and who I wanted, not even on Devin Carter, who I wanted and who I thought was a better fit for the Kings. And sometimes you're wrong, right? And honestly, it is still early. And we love what we're seeing from Devin, but nobody really knows. So you don't got to beat yourself up and I should have picked, because you can't pick the Kings to win every game. You would be a very sad person if you picked that this season. So the Cavs, you know, and somebody else on the Sac Chat said, or excuse me, the text line said, hey, the Cavs had played, 3 games and 4 nights coming off a back-to-back. Let's pump our brakes. But, you know, it was a really good win. I hear you on that. And if that's how you feel, you can feel that way too. They did end with get the win tonight, light the beam. You can protect yourself, right? You can go full hype train. You can go half hype train. You can go 0 hype train. You can do anything you want to do. That it is completely up to you and how you fan. But I appreciate, because I do the same thing, right? I'm going to call myself out as much as possible, you know, just when I'm wrong on things, because as I'm the soundtrack to some of you, whether it's for 4 minutes or 4 hours, you're going to hear me say some stuff that I'm right on, and you're going to hear me say some stuff that I'm not right on. But hopefully when I'm not right, it's for the betterment of the Sacramento Kings. So great stuff all around. Everybody feeling good. It's almost Friday. We're out here at Tom's. Let's see here. It's 67-58, Purdue beating High Point. I thought about High Point, because I know nothing about Purdue. And, you know, you come off a season where you lose the national championship, kind of like losing the Super Bowl. You lose you lose Zach Edey. I don't have Purdue going very far, but I do have them winning this game. As Kyle, it is time to get to the playoff probability report. All right, Kyle, let's see where the Kings are now after that huge victory. It is your opportunity to make Kings fans, not just in Sacramento, not just in Elk Grove, not just wherever you may be, in Davis, in the Bay, okay, across country, if you're listening on YouTube, in Providence. Make us feel better, Kyle, about the 8 seed. The floor is yours.
All right, Mr. Stiles. Well, the best path to the 8 seed, obviously, you gotta win like 3 more of these games. But this did This did a big number for them. Their chances to make the playoffs went up from 23.
Give us the number, Kyle. Just give it to us.
23.2 to 25.8.
Hey, I like we're at a full quarter now. Okay,
yeah.
We're at a full quarter now. All right, I like that, but we got more numbers. What else?
So with the win last night, the Kings' odds more than doubled to get from the 9-10 game to the 7-8.
Okay, you're saying doubled. Give me that big bad
more
number,
than
Kyle.
doubled. More than doubled their chances.
I cannot wait to hear this.
They went from 2.5% to 6%.
Wow. Okay. But you know what? Now here's the thing though. Here's the thing. The bigger games you win, and the Clippers, they're gonna lose eventually, right? If you just don't lose, that number will keep going up. And if you lose these big games, so much could happen. Now, obviously, you got to do it. Obviously, you still don't have Domantas Sabonis. But what they tapped into last night, I think here's the thing. What we saw last night, and everyone can bring up the Celtics if they want, that's fine. But that's a different team. What we saw last night, I'll only speak for myself, is something that I didn't know if the Kings had or not. Now, at the very least, we know that the Kings, they have that, right? They beat the Grizzlies. You know I'm not high on the Grizzlies. No Ja Morant. I'm just not high on the Grizzlies. But it was a good game. But I didn't know that they had this. Now that I know that they have this, it's now a question of how many times can they tap into this before the season ends, right? And I feel like you could argue they did tap into this in the Nuggets and Clippers game, but it wasn't the same level. Why? Because they lost, right? So we've seen similar things like this before, but didn't end in W's. So can they do it and close the door and get it done in these big games? But before it happened last night, myself, I didn't know that they could do it. Now I know they can. Is it probable? No, because a lot of things still has to happen. But at least now after last night, I can say I know they can do it. And that is one of the main things that we are hopeful for going into the rest of this season. As we discussed, though, and again, I didn't ask this question to Doug Christie because the vibes were too good. I didn't want things getting misconstrued. But why is it that when players are missing, the team kind of makes more sense? And can they harness what they've been able to do when the team is missing players with a full roster and with the full rotation? One of the more confusing situations that only the Kings could cook up, and we discuss it on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with 2 people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. Not guaranteed.
If you've been looking for an SUV that combines luxury, comfort, and off-road capability, look no further than the most awarded SUV ever, the Jeep Grand Cherokee at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. With 470 foot-pounds of torque, a 6,000-pound towing capacity, great gas mileage, the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the perfect SUV for all your needs. See for yourself why people are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Centrally located across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course, it's the place where a handshake still means something.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
The Amish have a reputation for craftsmanship, determination, and quality. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. You know, those virtues sound quite similar to the Keys family and the day-to-day values on display at Naturewood. The Amish furniture craftsmanship begins with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into one-of-a-kind art. In addition to the classic styles long sought and revered by discriminating furniture lovers, Naturewood Home Furnishings offers a vast selection that includes transitional, modern, farmhouse, arts and crafts, and other stunning styles, all available in the ultimate Amish standard of excellence built over centuries. All Naturewood Amish furniture is on sale right now for a limited time. Let the Naturewood team guide you through their selection of Amish furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. All right, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again, another Drapes commercial for his guys and girls down there at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. But trust me, listen to this. Whether you're in the market for a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, they'll take care of you. Trust me, they got certified pre-owned vehicles starting at 3.49 APR on select 2021, 22, and 23 models. And take it from me, when you go to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you leave out feeling like you're valued, like they trust you, like they care for you. Matter of fact, it's like they're your family. That's right. So for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the entire community. And get this, it's not that far away, guys. Just a short drive down I-5, or of course, online anytime at mbfstockton.com. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and tell them Drape sent you.
Join Sacktown Sports for all the madness this Thursday at Tom's Watch Bar, where we'll be broadcasting live all day starting at 10 a.m. with Allen Stiles, the Drive Guys at 2, and ending at 5:30 with the Kings Game Night broadcast. Tom's Watch Bar, Sacramento's biggest sports party.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Well, you win games and people notice you. Now I know NBA TV is maybe viewed a little bit differently than ESPN games and TNT games, but Sean Cunningham is on this. Came out a couple hours ago. The Kings have picked up 2 nationally televised games, both set for NBA TV. Funny enough, and I don't know why do they play the Kings like this? I don't get this. So they've picked up 2. All right. The first one is Sunday, April 6th. Well, Alan, which game is that and who is that against? I'll tell you. It's Kings at Cleveland. So the revenge game for the Cavs, and they have a couple revenge games as they've lost 3 straight. But the Sacramento Kings at Cleveland will now be televised by NBA TV. Washington at Boston is getting the boot. Why in the world Washington at Boston was ever going to be nationally televised, I'm not quite sure. Okay, Alan, when's the next nationally televised game? It must be, a couple days later. Yeah, not really a couple days. Monday, April 7th. So the back-to-back of Cleveland and Detroit, the Kings will be on NBA TV. Sacramento at Detroit will now be televised by NBA TV. And the Sixers at Heat game has gotten the boot. So, look, I'm not complaining. I want people to see the Kings and get that national action. Don't get me wrong. But at Cleveland, at Detroit, I know you got to pick good games. But on a back-to-back, I don't know. They're trying to play us, Kyle. What's good with that, man?
I don't know. Here's the thing, though. I'm glad that they picked road games because I got to be honest. All the NBA TV games on the West Coast start at 7:30 p.m.
That's true.
I would rather not play on a national TV game than start at 7:30. So at least they're in Detroit and in Cleveland because,
Kyle, that's some logistical stuff right there. I'm saying this is a rough go for the Kings. And it's nationally. Again, I know it's NBA TV, but it's nationally televised. I don't know if I like that, Kyle. I'm not complaining, even though I am kind of complaining. But I don't love that.
I kind of want to look this up though to see did we just get it by default? Like, was there no other option available in the time slot? Let's see.
Well, the Celtics at Wizards, you cannot play that game.
Well, I'll tell you this. April 7th, there's literally only 2 games on the schedule. It's Kings Pistons and 76ers Heat.
That's crazy. So literally not that any game but that game.
I believe that's also national championship night for men's college basketball, so that's probably why they have the schedule like that. Why the Kings got booked for it, who knows?
Yeah.
And then it was either us or Jazz Hawks or Spurs Blazers. Those were their 3 choices.
And I guarantee you, if the Blazers had still been hot and honestly, if Wemby was still playing, they probably would have bumped up Wemby and De'Aaron, honestly.
But instead, it's Stephon Castle versus Shaedon Sharpe.
Yes, which, hey, one of them, Stephon Castle's probably going to be rookie of the year. But all right, well, we'll take it, I guess. Another opportunity for the Kings to be seen on a national level, albeit NBA TV. That's what happens when you win basketball games and when you are the only other game. This is the conversation that I wanted to have. And I kind of kicked off the show with it a little bit as we discussed why not just I don't necessarily want to talk about when teams are or when the Kings are missing a player straight up, right? But just some of the lineups where somebody is sacrificing, and Doug talked about it in the Grizzlies game. That's just how this thing is going to have to go, because the jokes that we all have about the roster not making sense. The reality is, and we talked about this after the Grizzlies game, it's not really the full roster that doesn't make sense. It's the starting lineup, right? But the starting lineup should be your best lineup. Our starting lineup is the most talented lineup, I would argue, from a scoring standpoint, and and it's the most expensive lineup as well. But is that the Kings' best lineup? And I think that has been the struggle. So when you see a game like last night and Zach LaVine is out, there is no push and pull and somebody getting started or getting warm. And now you're seeing guys know exactly what their roles are. So you're to the point now, and this is the conversation post the Grizzlies, where it's, we don't have time. And is there a call involved? Is there a conversation involved where it's, hey, it's money time now? Or as Jake LaRavie would say, we're in butter. We're in butter. Hey, it's butter time.
Butter situation.
What is a butter situation? You got to play. You got to play your best players. And
butter situation.
You got to throw out the basketball politics. You got to throw out how much somebody is worth. And we're going to talk about Keon Ellis, because a lot of people probably haven't noticed that Keon's minutes, he didn't play that fourth quarter against the Grizzlies. He got that fifth foul last night. He did not get back into the game in the fourth quarter. So obviously Keon, it's easier to have somebody like Keon sacrifice. But this idea that we have to go with who is rolling, if they have free reign now, I guess besides the starting lineup, or funny enough, if the starting lineup is not getting as much time together, this thing can make more sense. It's just a matter of how much, when you're in a play-in game, or when you're in a playoff game, if you will, your guy, and I'm just using Zach LaVine as an example, your guy, Zach LaVine, or your guy, DeMar DeRozan, or your guy, Malik Monk, are you willing to sacrifice that? And a game like last night, you didn't, because Zach LaVine didn't play. So it's this weird addition by subtraction, and Doug is managing a lot of different emotions and price tags, not just from the team, but from above him, a team or a leadership group that he hopes will make him the full-blown head coach and remove the interim tag. So it's an interesting situation where you brought in talent. We've discussed how the talent now, although more than it was prior to the trade, but makes maybe a little less sense. And Doug has to kind of massage and balance these things. And last night, when you're missing guys, there's less to balance because there's less available, right? So it's kind of funny how this team makes more sense, if you will, when they're missing guys, because there's no redundancy and when the roles are clearer. And how does Doug figure out how to do that with the full, because you want the full rotation. Of course you do. But how do you massage that situation when everybody is available? That's something that they're going to have to figure out. Like we said, Zach LaVine was in the locker room last night. So what does that mean as far as his availability tonight? We will have that information for you, hopefully in the 1 o'clock hour, or the Drive guys will, leading up to the game tonight against the Bulls. And that's the question. On a team where it's not they weren't as talented last night, missing Domantas, Sabonis, Jake LaRavie, and Zach LaVine, no way. But it may have looked like a cleaner situation. It may have looked like a more direct situation where things are segmented off, where it's, okay, this makes sense. Okay, you have one job. Everybody knows their role, right? Kyle, I'm going to go way throwback here because I don't know, you're probably in second grade at this point. Used to be a show on MTV, America's Best Dance Crew. And this dance crew, they had shirts that said, I think it was either know your rank or know your role, right? And they were from the Bay Area, so I love them. They ended up losing to the Jabberwockies, but I always took that. You need a team that knows their rank and knows their role. And I think when they are fully loaded right now, it's not as clear as when they are missing pieces, which is kind of an interesting thing that only the Kings could somehow pull off. As we hit the 12 o'clock hour, we continue to discuss what this team can do, what this team will do, and what this team should do in the future. But the future is tonight. Let's talk about pocket watching and who is in action tonight and what happened last night. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide and services to showcase your invention. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Spring is in the air, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping for new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Things are just better when you switch to Cricket. The sun shines a little brighter. Happy music starts randomly playing. Best of all, you can get iPhone 13 for just $29.99 with the ultra-bright Super Retina display and up to 19 hours of video playback, all on Cricket's super-fast 5G network. See? Isn't that better? Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new account imported on $60 plan. First service charge and tax to with sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-822-3910. That's 800-822-3910. 800-822-3910.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD 1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. and we will be joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Watkins, in person. That's in 15 minutes. Chris Watkins will join us, sit here right next to me as we break down what in the world happened last night and what in the world is happening with March Madness. So a couple other games have kicked off here. This is an interesting one. And like I said, in my other bracket, the smaller bracket, I have Auburn going all the way as the number 1 overall seed, which scares the heck out of me, but not in the Jason Ross bracket, but they are in action right now. And, you know, the interesting storyline as Auburn, obviously in the SEC, taking on Alabama State in the SWAC. The interesting thing, if you know, I'm going to take it here because I'm big on the underdogs and basically, you know, the athlete that may not always be that blue chip recruit. I know it's a little bit different with the transfer portal now, but you got to think a lot of the players on Alabama State probably feel some type of way about never getting a call from Auburn. A lot of these guys stay pretty local, and I know Auburn will go outside of the state of Alabama to recruit, but you got to think anybody on Alabama State that, you know, grew up cheering for Auburn or Alabama, you get to play one of these teams, you got a little something for them because you're thinking, oh, I wasn't good enough to get recruited by you. Well, let me show you something. I don't know if that's going to happen, and I kind of hope it doesn't happen as I picked Auburn to win the whole thing. But if I had paid attention to that more so before I picked my winner, maybe I would have went a different direction. But if Auburn loses this game, then I got bigger issues. But just a small note for Alabama State, Auburn. There might be a little bit of, you know, in-state, hey, never gave me a call. Let me show you why you should have gave me a call.
Well,
so that's
also,
going on there.
Alabama State are our friends who had the ridiculous full court pass winner on Tuesday in the first 4.
That's right, off St. Francis of Pennsylvania. Montana is losing now double digits to Wisconsin. I have Wisconsin going shady far, I think. And Houston is beaten down on Southern Illinois of possibly Evansville, 52-24.
It's so Edwardsville, different name.
Edwardsville. So sorry, Edwardsville. No disrespect there. 52-24. Just keep grinding. Just keep grinding, Edwardsville. You'll get there. Maybe not today, but you'll get there. McNeese State, as we mentioned, they tip off in about 20 minutes, and they're going to do so, Kyle, you said, without their head coach?
No, their head coach is coaching the game. He's just already taken another job at another school before the game started.
See, man, I mean, at least he is coaching that game, But why does that have to be announced now, right? Why does that have to be announced now?
Oh, it's even crazier than you think. So the coach's name is Will Wade. For college basketball fans, he's the guy who got fired at LSU because of that FBI probe thing. So he ended up doing the rehab tour of, I'm going to go to McNeese State and build a program back up, and then someone will hire me because we'll have forgotten about all the bad things I did. And at the press conference on Wednesday before the game, a reporter asked him, have you had conversations with NC State? And he straight up said yes, and then winked at the reporter. And then like 6 hours later, he was announced as the new head coach.
It's crazy. I think that's so disrespectful. And I know that. And then the whole thing with the boombox, you got the boombox guy, but you don't have a coach. So what are you saying in the locker room if you're that coach? Oh. Hey guys, do it for yourselves because I'm out of here next year.
Well,
right?
no.
I mean, what do you say?
Allen, this is 2025. You might have said that 10 years ago, but this is 2025. All his players are going with him to NC State.
Oh, I guess you're right.
It's like,
what a disaster.
One more game for the, I don't even know, the McNeese State, whatever. One more game together, and then we're all going.
I know it's a dude on the horse. I don't know if they're Cowboys, but it's a dude on a horse. Or it's just a horse.
I hope
the Cowboys.
I hope the manager goes with him to NC State. Like that would stink if the team manager has to stay behind at McNeese while all the players transfer to NC State.
It is the McNeese State Cowboys. They are first in the Southland Conference, taking on my Clemson Tigers. And they're probably going to lose. Someone's going to lose a coach, and someone's going to lose some players. So, all right, crazy stuff there. That's tipping off in about 18 minutes. And I want McNeese to lose from my bracket, but just a very confusing situation because everybody can't go with them. NC State.
Oh, that's the awkward one. Who's the player who's going to get left behind? Who's the player?
There's a group chat, and he's just not in the group chat. Oh, I thought we were all going. I guess
Imagine being the player who doesn't come with the coach to NC State, but they bring the team manager with the boombox. Like they bring him, but they don't bring you, a guy who actually plays.
He's got a bigger NIL deal. That's how it works. And now they're on TV. It's the boombox guy.
Oh,
and now I got to watch this boombox guy.
I got to find this now. I got to switch to True TV real quick.
We need to find out, is he going to NC State? Well, I don't know how old is, we don't know anything about this guy.
Oh, you're saying they're doing a profile on the boombox guy?
Yes, they're doing a profile on boombox guy.
His name is Amir Khan, but he's just boombox guy, right?
He's the one who put their name on the Southland tournament. He's not even a player.
Yeah, but that's like Sister Jean, right? Like
Chris is shaking his head saying, "Shut up." He's not a player.
They love him. Look, he's got like 8 chains as he's walking out of the tunnel. It's great.
This is actually, I'm getting more gray hair since I get upset about this.
Did you see the quote that he had and something they did during the season? After one of the games, he got interviewed and he had the quote, when it comes to wiping the court and refilling water bottles, I'm putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. And so
that's funny.
And so they had him recreate the Wilt Chamberlain 100, but with his name on the card.
So I'm not, by the end, I'll probably like this guy, but just off the top of my head, I'm not hating on him getting money. Get your money. But when they're profiling this young man, and you know what? This is why, and I'll tell my kids, there is no excuse for you to make some money. You're going to find a way to make some money, even if you are the boombox girl. I don't care.
Okay, you're just looking
find a way to make some money.
You were just looking down a second ago. After the 3.5-minute profile, they flashed a graphic on the screen that literally said Amir Khan, first team manager to receive NIL deal.
I know. So you're going to find a way.
They got stats and graphics for him.
We are going to be joined by Chris Watkins here in about 4 to 5 minutes. So before we get that, I know, Kyle, you wanted to have some fun with Markelle Fultz smoking a dunk and why he chose. You know what it looked like? It looked like, and it was very funny because Malik has smoked a couple here. And after that happened, right, I think, or after it happened last night, Devin Carter, you could tell. That first one, he did do a mini back scratch, but Devin Carter was thinking, I just need this to go in. And then Keegan had one where Keegan, I don't think his hands even break on the dunk. he just holds his hand straight up and the ball just goes into the basket. It's the most Keegan dunk ever. But both of Devin's dunks, he said, I'm not going to be that guy. I don't know what Markelle Fultz was attempting to do, but if you're going to miss a dunk going crazy. Try to go between, like, that was a mini soft double pump, and he missed it anyway. That's the worst thing. Missing the dunk is not the worst thing to me. Missing a dunk on something that nobody was going to remember anyway is actually worse. That's my problem. That's my problem with it.
It was so funny. So as I mentioned, I was there for the first half of the game last night, and I'm standing up on the second level, the concourse behind the basket. And so Markel's coming at me as he's smoking this dunk. And as he missed it, I think at the time it was like 28-28 too. So like they're going on a run for the first time in the game.
And that dunk was to tie the game.
Yeah, exactly. They were going on a run for the first time, and as soon as he smoked it, I was rolling laughing for like 2 minutes, because wasn't that the most perfect Markelle Fultz moment? Right?
Yeah,
like he
had hit like a midi before that.
He hit a 3-pointer with the hitch in his shot too.
Well, don't be disrespectful. And I knew, did he score after that? Because I feel like he didn't.
He only made
Once
2
he
shots.
Missed that, I thought it's actually over for him tonight. Let's just keep rotating. Did he play? Did he get back in the game?
I don't think so. I don't think he ever got back in the game, which, like, it's so funny. He hit the midi, he hit the 3 in the corner with the hitch, and those were his only 5 points of the game. So he smoked the dunk, and they said that was enough for him.
And then if he doesn't smoke the dunk, do we see the Devin Carter, blowout games or come out games? So good for Devin Carter. Markelle Fultz, you got to go back to the film and figure that one out. We're going to break a little early because I cannot wait to get Chris Watkins on these airwaves. He is in the building. He is shaking his head as he typically does at me. When we come back, we're breaking down what in the world happened last night and has that changed our thought process on what the Sacramento Kings can do. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by California Sun.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Welcome to this first official day of spring. We're looking at sun and clouds mixing in, a partly sunny day with a light north breeze. Afternoon highs will peak in the mid-60s. You can expect overnight lows to drop off into the low 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Free wellness, red light therapy, infrared, trim pod, cold plunge, halo therapy, sunbeds, and more. All free during Wellness Weekend at California Sun Wellness Spas. No sign-up required. Free at all California Sun Wellness Spa locations this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. CaliforniaSun.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda. Your one...
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
12:15, joined by the one, the only, Chris Watkins. Going to get him on camera in a little bit here.
It's not necessary.
No, it is very necessary anytime Chris Watkins joins us. Chris, thank you for sliding by.
Yeah.
Let's start here before we get into some Kings.
Okay.
Who do you have winning the whole thing? Let's just focus on J. Ross's bracket.
Okay. Can
Dang, people are still talking about the men's tournament. We're going to talk about baseball next. I thought you meant like the women's tournament for a second. UCLA's had a great season. South Carolina,
Caitlin Clark is gone.
Got to talk about my adopted cousin Juju.
Yeah, I mean, there's Juju, sure.
TCU, Mark
you
Campbell.
Filled out, okay, so
Sac
you filled
State.
out more women's brackets than men's brackets?
No,
okay, well then that's what I'm talking about.
The women's bracket is still going to be great this year. No, but in the men's bracket, we're talking J. Ross's bracket. I think I did Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, see, man.
But with something like that, you kind of have to get a little bit outside. You're going to go with the Dukes if you're going to go.
Because 12
even
people have
Houston
that.
is a pretty basic pick, but. It feels like, Duke and Auburn are probably going to be the 1 and 2 picked. And, with something bigger like that, you probably want to go with, somebody who's still got a good shot, but not the most popular.
Yeah, no, I think you did it right, especially when things are supposed to be very chalky. I went a little too wild.
No.
I did. And I have Michigan State.
Why?
Losing to Tennessee.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I don't have a number one.
I know you like Tennessee, but you literally always tell me Tennessee chokes.
Okay,
I don't know if you were talking baseball specifically there. Or...
Well, no, so they won the College World Series.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, they were in. Were they in the, or did they miss the college football playoff, or they were barely in it?
This is a Kyle question.
They got smoked by Ohio State in the first round.
That's right, but they were in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that translates. It's getting better. It's getting better. So yeah, I just can't. I couldn't not take Tennessee in case this is the year they actually do it.
And Tom Izzo guy, you're just a traditionalist, I guess.
Everyone's sleeping. They're a 2 seed.
They definitely are sleeping.
They're a 2 seed.
These are facts.
And then, like you said, I think in my mind it wasn't that crazy.
You'll be if you did that, you're going to be by yourself.
Or I'm just super cooked.
Yeah, probably. But you just got to
Yeah, so that's
crazy things happen.
Crazy things happen.
I know Kyle's got UC San Diego. That's I think that's a lot of people. Well, probably not that far, but I think a lot of people have UC San Diego picked as
Triton's up.
One of their people. I know VCU, St. Mary's is always a.
I can't do St. Mary's.
I
can't say why, but I can't.
It's Mike Brown's favorite coach, Randy Bennett. Man, come on.
I struggle. Any Bay Area team that never looked at your boy for baseball, I kind of struggle.
They have a baseball program.
Oh yeah,
I know they cut their football program. Years ago.
They're good at baseball, but I was good enough, so I struggle with the St. Mary's of the world.
Okay,
but I mean, Cal, I love Cal, so
sure.
But Cal ain't in it. Okay, Cal is not in it.
Andre.
Temple not in it. Okay, we get. What time's the NIT? Who's out here winning NIT brackets? Is anybody who's out here filling out NIT?
Tough these days because now people are rejecting NIT bids.
That's right. That's right. And whatever is under that. Somebody mentioned to me, or I saw on social media, a survivor pool version of the tournament. So each day you pick a team.
Yeah.
I'm actually I might be into that.
It's a day every day or every round.
That's
I guess you could do
I guess
either
it would
one,
have to be every day.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting.
I'm
for sure.
in.
It's a different way of doing it. I was trying to get with my friend actually. Funny enough, we were talking about we didn't fill out a women's bracket. And we were still trying to figure out how to kind of have a horse in the race, and we kind of figured out maybe we can do a snake draft of picking your a team to win and figuring out something like that. I will say I'm definitely for alternate bracket styles. Like the bracket is almost too used. It's too played out at this point.
The reason I like Jason's
still fun
is because there are incentives each round.
Sure.
That actually, okay, well, I didn't win the whole thing, but I got 2 rounds or I got something like that.
Yeah.
The old school one where you're in the lead and then Tennessee loses and your possible points are 42.
And I never understood the possible
points
thing.
Right. And there's always somebody, I picked Creighton, I mean, I don't want to deal with it. But Chris, we do have to get to a little bit of Kings talk here. As we were sitting next to each other last night, they were doing their thing. And I just want to know, to you, did it change? Because to me, it made me feel like I don't know how many more times the Kings can play like that, but now I at least know that they can play like that against an elite opponent post trade, with this new team. What was your takeaway from last night? It could be about the Cavs. It could be about the Cavs.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it's a really quality win. I think the one thing that just, I don't know if it really changed how I view the ceiling of the team, but you just have to acknowledge the fact that that was the Cavs' 13th loss of the season.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of doesn't matter if anything, if you're a skeptic or, whatever, you thought it was luck, anything. They just gave the Cavs the 13th loss of the season. They only had Darius Garland out, and we know that the Kings definitely were down themselves. It was impressive 100%, but part of me is, and it's very contradictory to what I just said, but like sometimes that happens in the league where you catch a team off guard. You could call it a schedule loss maybe for the Cavs where they're overlooking the Kings. I think instead of trying to downplay the Kings, I think I'll just say kind of what I said at the start. I just don't really think it overall changes my ceiling, but I can definitely acknowledge that's an incredibly impressive win. And if anything, maybe it's a floor raiser in my opinion, to where, like you said, I mean, I just know that you're capable of doing that kind of performance. I just don't know if I expect that. We should absolutely we should expect that level of performance, but realistically, I don't think I do expect them to perform like that every night.
Well, the other thing is too, looking at what happened in Boston. I've also seen that people have compared this loss or this win last night to the Boston win. And I've separated things. I know De'Aaron Fox didn't play, but there's no point in me comparing the Boston win to this win. Just different situations. It's a different team.
Yeah.
But some people are having that conversation. I don't know, Chris, based on where we're at, and funny enough, Boston was kind of scuffling when the Kings did it.
Yeah, they also.
I don't want to use the F word, but the Boston game, it felt more fluky to me than last night.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Vantage Point or something.
No more Vantage Point. It felt more fluky, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I mean, they beat the brakes off the Celtics in Boston.
Yes, no,
right. Sure. Last night felt more realistic.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like Boston,
it was a great win yesterday.
It happens in the league.
Yeah,
right.
Boston, some of Boston loss as well is very Boston, and they like couldn't hit anything, and that's what happens with Boston sometimes with the amount of threes they take. They usually make them, but they have random nights where they just can't hit anything. They'll shoot 30%. Absolutely, you play a factor in that, but like they're at the end of the day, they're just missing shots that day. Like yesterday felt like, Cleveland there was a little bit of push and pull. Like Cleveland kind of slept for a second, and the Kings were very opportunistic.
Yeah.
Devin Carter had his moment, or moments, you could say. And I think the Kings definitely earned and took the win yesterday. But I do kind of think, I love what Doug said yesterday with this example of, cleaning the room and all that stuff. And I think that really does kind of speak to what I was kind of just saying is we know that they're capable of it, but realistically, we would, I think, be surprised if they do that every game in the same way that you would be surprised every couple days if Doug walks into his son's room and sees, oh, wait, your room is still clean.
Yes.
Like, so I think that that's kind of where we're at this point, that we know, the floor hasn't fallen. Okay, De'Aaron Fox is traded. It's not like the team is now truly a team that doesn't even deserve to be in the play-in, but I just don't know if I've seen yet a ceiling raiser. But I will say, I mean, the more and more of these performances, and, whatever, sure, it's maybe Captain Obvious, but the more and more performances like that they put together, the more I will believe that their ceiling is raised. Like I saw a stat that said, I think it's when Malik, Keon, and DeRozan start, they're 5-0, and that was the Boston game. Like that is the OKC game. So in that sense, I see the connection of the beating OKC and beating Boston. But yeah, I mean, again, the more and more stats you can kind of put together like that, where it's, hey, no, when you play these lineups together, there's real tangible success that you can show. I think that's when I'll start believing, but people believe at different rates. Like I'm sure there's tons of people who never lost faith. I'm sure there's some people who will never, ever believe in this team again. But I think they are starting to show some identity. It's just, I think right now, in my opinion, they still fall somewhere in that play-in of they're probably like the 7th to 10th best team in the West right now.
Yeah, and, one thing that I wanted to ask Doug last night, but I didn't because the vibes were so good, and we spent some time talking about it, is the Kings have more talent than prior to the trade deadline, but we spent
total talent,
and that's the key, total talent. nights like last night, and I didn't ask it, but I wanted to, in a weird way, even though you have less total talent, is it easier for Doug to put in a game plan because everybody knows their role? You don't have to worry about getting Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, and DeMar DeRozan going, who the three of them together defensively is not good.
Yeah.
Now it's, okay, Keon starting, DeMar, you do your thing, get Malik Monk going, and things like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask the question, but it's almost as if it's addition by subtraction because there's less Doug has to worry about, less talented, but makes more sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that can definitely be a thing. I think it's a really good question, a fair question. And it's funny because I was thinking on the ride here, and I think maybe on a little bit on the ride back yesterday, like, I wish I would have asked Doug something similar to that. Like, you know, I play video games, I'll play 2K, and sometimes when your star players get hurt, it's like, dang, like, obviously I need them, but you kind of get to flex your coaching muscles a little bit and say, like, you know, I've been wanting to see what it looks like.
Kyle Shanahan.
Exactly. We're going to give Kyle Juszczyk the ball 17 times tonight.
Nobody thinks it's going to happen.
So I did kind of wonder that as well. And I think, you know, if we're both wondering that, I'm sure there's some truth to it for sure that, you know, when you have a bunch of guys who are typically role players, they want to shine in their role, and you give them a little bit more opportunity. And, you know, I think they definitely, more so Devin Carter yesterday, completely took advantage of it. And you see that, you know, like you said, they're deep. Like they have guys who can realistically deep down on their bench make impact. Like, for example, Kessler Edwards was probably in a similar-ish role as like, oh, we don't really know if he's ever going to play. But, you know, on a night like last night, Kessler Edwards, if he were on this team, probably would have played. And you're not getting that level of a surprise performance. So I would definitely say they're definitely deeper this year. But I you know, like we've said, I don't know if that overall means that they have a higher ceiling.
Chris Watkins, thank you so much for joining us, man. Go enjoy some food. Go enjoy some beverages. Boss didn't hear that.
I don't think I can.
No, I know. You can't do that. And you're not going to do that. I said lemonade. I said beverage, okay? I didn't. Okay, thank you, Kyle. Chris Watkins, thank you so much. And be sure to follow Chris Watkins on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, and our Sacktown Sports accounts as well. Great stuff coming from Chris on SacktownSports.com. Chris, we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary, not guaranteed.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Paul Mitchell, The School, Sacramento, and Stoney's Rock and Rodeo. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Every Saturday in March is your chance to shoot your shot at Sky River Casino's $250,000 Slam Dunk Cash Giveaway. Play slots and table games to earn entries and get 100 bonus entries every Monday and Tuesday. Visit Sky River Casino daily to score a free entry. Then join every Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. for a chance to win up to $250,000. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Kenneth Kelly on the Sack Chat. Happy early birthday, Mr. Stiles. Thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that. Once again, and that is a perfect segue. I'm going to act like I did that on purpose because Brendan Nunes, who joins us right now, 916-339-1140 if you want to be part of the conversation. Brendan Nunes joins us, and he will be filling in for me tomorrow as I will be in San Diego enjoying. So I looked it up. It's barely getting the 70s. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm going to take it. I do know that next week it'll be pretty warm in Sacramento. We're going to hit the 70s and maybe get to the 80s. So, Brendan, want to thank you again, my guy, for filling in, and thank you for joining us on a beautiful Thursday, even though it's my Friday. What's up, Brendan?
What's up, man? I'm doing all right. Sorry I'm not there at Tom's with you, but
Chris is here because Chris is a good teammate, and you're an okay teammate because at least you're here on the phone.
There's tiers of teammates, right? Because I know. Are you getting Frank on?
Frank is on next, but Frank has an excuse with the baby.
Okay.
So Frank.
Well, I'd like to say, no. Frank and I are same tier.
That's your call. That's your call. Well, Brendan, it was a good call last night for the Kings to get this W, a much-needed W, against one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NBA, the number one seed in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers. We were talking to Chris Watkins and just breaking down if it changed your thought process at all. Chris said it changed his thought about the floor, but not necessarily the ceiling. As I've kind of said, it did excite me because I don't know how often they can get to that level, but at least I know that they have that level in the mix. How did you feel watching the game last night?
Yeah, I like your assessment. I think that, it's good to be reminded every once in a while, I think for the fan base, but also just for the team themselves, sort of internal confidence that hey, when we piece this all together, we can be pretty damn good. Yeah, sure, Cleveland was on a back-to-back, but like Chris pointed out, anytime a team was 56-12, man, like it's their 13th loss of the season. So that can never be overlooked. I don't care about Darius Garland not being out there. There's no Zach LaVine. There's no Domantas Sabonis. So it goes both ways. I mean, I think that for sure it's good to be reminded of, that you can piece it all together and be pretty productive. And sure, the shooting 45% from three definitely helps a lot. But funnily enough, even though the Cavs were 55% from the field, I thought the Kings played pretty good defense, like for stretches, instances of getting turnovers, of being physical. I thought they were really, really on point of like getting on the floor quickly for 50-50 balls. And I think that sort of effort and physicality was what really popped for me yesterday. And Devin Carter was a big part of that.
Talking to Brendan Nunes, one of our Sacktown Sports Kings insiders. Brendan, what is a hidden storyline from last night? And you can go with Devin Carter, of course, but I don't know how hidden it is. It was clearly his coming out party in the NBA. And I don't know what it is with Devin Carter. Maybe it's because he's from the East Coast, but bring me your best Eastern Conference team, and I will have a really, really good game. As we remember, in the game where a lot of people are saying that's the only game they would take over this game last night as far as the best game of the season, a game when they beat the brakes off of Boston in Boston. What would you say was maybe a storyline from last night that wasn't covered as heavily as some of the others?
Yeah, I would say maybe that defensive effort is what stood out to me. Again, Cleveland shooting 55% from the field doesn't bode the greatest for that argument, but I really think that the hustle for 50-50 balls, I mean, again, Devin Carter definitely part of that, him getting more run, but it's when you have multiple good defenders on the floor is where I think that you're really seeing it. Multiple, not just good defenders, but guys that are just all-out hustle guys, if you just want to go, cliche like dogs out there. Devin Carter absolutely fits that. I think Keegan Murray is, maybe a soft-spoken dog, but I think he's out there absolutely competing and getting, sort of gritty with his play, especially recently, as I think he's been more physical. Keon for sure falls into that. Jake LaRavia, who wasn't out there last night either, I think definitely falls into that. Trey Lyles, a different sort of breed, I guess you would say, but falls into that. And maybe he can be like the quieter storyline. I feel like these last 2-3 games, he's played upwards of 20 minutes, 22 minutes against Golden State, 20 minutes against Memphis, and he closed that game out instead of Jonas Valanciunas, 30 minutes against Cleveland, and also played, a larger role than Valanciunas did. So getting some success from that small ball unit that we've seen for years before, I think has been big these last 2 games.
And then do you think there is a conversation to be had where some of these dog lineups that we're talking about in Memphis, where it was Devin Carter, Keon Ellis, Jake LaRavia, very clearly, who else was it? Trey Lyles and DeMar DeRozan, which means that Malik Monk and Zach LaVine are on the bench. Last night, no Zach LaVine, right? And I'm sure you heard the conversations that I've had with Chris and just earlier on the show, just about, hey, deep down, does Doug think, hey, at least everyone is going to have a better role, even if we're less talented? How do they find that balance? And do you think there's a conversation to be had where it's, hey, guys, as Jake LaRavia says, it's a butter situation. Okay, there's only 5 seconds left on the shot clock of the season. We can't really mess around here, and we have to ride hot hands, whatever that hot hand may be.
I think that the starting lineup situation, and it's a roster construction thing in general in my mind. I think that you do need to play your most talented players. Like, everybody's going to point to Keon. I think Keon's great. I've liked Keon a lot ever since he was undrafted, but he does still have like some offensive limitations, and Malik is obviously more talented. And in that starting group, it's like, ideally you want DeMar and Zach to be able to focus on scoring. So you put Malik Monk in there to, I guess, facilitate and help set guys up, something that he's learning to do. But at the same time, like, part of Malik's skill set is being able to go get a bucket, which is why I think he's, pretty well suited for that 6-man role. It's just a hard, I think, formula on this team to try to figure out. And I think that it's something that you probably need to figure out that balance with one of these upper echelon players when it comes to the talent on your team this offseason and make some adjustments there when it comes to that. But I think this year's starting lineup, I mean, I do think that you need Malik Monk's playmaking out there to make life easier for Zach LaVine, for DeMar DeRozan a little bit as well. But specifically, Zach, I think plays best when he's set up by other guys. And that's why I think that Malik does make sense in that starting lineup, even if there's other questions around it.
Brandon Nunes, thanks so much for joining. One more before we get you out of here. Are you worried at all about the Kings doing the Kings thing tonight against the Bulls, or do you think Doug will have the dogs ready?
No, absolutely. Allen, aren't we all worried that they're going to go full Kings tonight? I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, that doesn't even really have to do with their recent play. They played really well against Memphis and Cleveland, but then sure, you can go back to the 4 losses prior. I think that they've been playing solid. They just are a super up and down team that could be great offensively or horrible defensively, and they're super inconsistent. And it'd be very, very Kings. So, yeah, I mean, you even called it the Kings thing. How can I not be worried?
Yeah, well, let's hope they don't go full Kings. Never go full Kings. Brandon Nunes, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to follow Brandon. A lot of great stuff he puts out on social media, on Twitter, and, of course, he's always writing for us. You can check that out, SacktownSports.com. Brandon, we will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us, man. And thanks for tomorrow.
Yep, appreciate you. See you tonight.
All right, man. Peace. On the other side, we will keep this whole thing going. So basically it's a round table, but I'm calling it a bit of a waterfall. So we're cascading through our normal round table, and we had Chris Watkins, Brandon Nunes, and next we will have the one, the only, Frankie Cardicelli, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
We bring the boom. That's what we do.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
It's March, and you're in luck because at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, they're slam dunking the competition with unbeatable deals on overhead doors. Hey there, Jason Ross here, and whether you're upgrading your home, just like we did, or need a reliable, secure garage door, they've got the perfect match for you. And March is the perfect time for a fresh start. Take your home to the next level with high-quality doors that stand strong, look amazing, and are installed by trusted professionals. The winning results we got is more than we could have asked for, and you can do the same. So visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com today and check out their showroom as well. And when you do, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and find out about the $150 off a new garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. Your dream door, just like us, is a click away. You can call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Spring is in the air, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping for new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news, they're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
You're home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
If you are into this sort of thing, I really hope you took the under in the McNeese-Clemson game. It is 10-6. Okay, it is 10-6, still early on, but there are 12 minutes left in the half. It is 10-6, and McNeese is winning. And I have Clemson going to the Sweet 16. So they're the first of my big boys, along with Auburn only beating Alabama State by 3, 32.
Idiot.
32-29. Now, again, that is in my smaller bracket. Jason Ross, the big bracket, I have Tennessee. All right, so that's really my real big boy. But Auburn in my other bracket is kind of messing around right now. I'm not going to lie. And I tried to lay it out for y'all. These are guys that probably were pretty darn good themselves in high school. Never got a call, Alabama, from the Alabama area. Never got a call from Alabama. Never got a call from Auburn. And this is their opportunity. And right now, it is Frankie Cardicelli's opportunity to be a part of the conversation. Frankie, thanks so much for taking the time, my guy.
That's what we do.
Hi, Alan. Happy early birthday, my friend. I'm sure you're looking forward to 2 o'clock as much as ever right now.
That's right. That's right. But, we're enjoying ourselves out here, Frank. I know you couldn't get out here because you're being a good father. We appreciate you for that. But it is starting to fill up. There's the drinks are flowing. People are eating good food. I might grab a burger after this. There was a Chris Watkins sighting. So we're having a lot of fun, Frankie. And it was a lot of fun last night as the Kings take down the Cleveland Cavaliers. I already talked to Brendan and Frankie earlier on the show. I wanted to get your thoughts on what happened last night, what you took away from it, and does this change your thought process? I would argue about the rest of this season, and I'd even say going into next season, or was it simply just a really good game?
I mean, it kind of solidifies this Jekyll and Hyde kind of, personality this Kings team has. And, I look more at the three-point shooting, and it's not coincidence that during that 3-game losing streak where they're getting beat pretty bad, three-point shooting was horrible. I mean, 26%, 29%, and then 38% to kind of turn things around near the end of that losing streak. But the past 2 games, you shoot 48% against Memphis, 46% last night against the Cavaliers. I mean, you're losing the battle of the paint, but you're winning the battle of the perimeter, and that, to me, is a really good sign for the Kings because they've been very reliant on the three-point shooting. And you're seeing guys like Malik Monk, who has struggled from three, kind of find his shot last night. DeMar DeRozan, who has not been a three-point shooter for his entire NBA career, shooting 41% from three the past 20 games. I mean, this is something that the Kings really have benefited from. So you're seeing guys kind of step up, like Devin Carter, who we didn't really think we'd see much from down the closing stretch of the year, but at a time where the Kings don't have much point guard depth, I mean, they're really going to have to rely on him, especially as they look for those minutes to be filled with Domantas Sabonis, who's playing 40 or so minutes. They don't have any traditional bigs to fill those minutes, so they're kind of plugging and playing guys who can defend multiple positions. Devin Carter, 6'5", with I believe a 6'9", 6'10" wingspan, someone who can defend multiple positions himself. So the Kings are kind of plugging and playing. They're finding the right rotations that can work, and you see them pick up 2 wins against, sure, Memphis didn't have John Morant, but still a team that's very good and in a tough top 5 spot in the West. And then the Cavaliers last night on a back-to-back, still a very strong team, and they gave the Kings their best shot, and the Kings handled it really well.
We haven't spent a lot of time on the Suns, who are 3-1 in their last 4 games. They're still 3-4 games behind the Kings, and you don't want to fall to the 10 because, especially, I know we've been waiting for the Suns to figure it out for the last 3 years here, but you would much rather have a game in Sacramento and at Golden One Center where it's rocking than out there in Club Phoenix. But what do you think the message is to the team right now? They're kind of in a weird spot, and the morning show was talking about it, where they're tune-up games and I guess just confidence builder games, because the 8 isn't done, but you'd have to get pretty darn hot. And last night helped a lot, but you're going to need the Clippers to help you. But what do you think the message is right now from Doug and the rest of the coaching staff and just internally? Hey, it's kind of weird to just be playing, but you can't really get out of the spot you're in. I mean, if you win every game and the Clippers fall off a cliff, it's possible, but it's still going to be tough sledding here.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. But, a lot of these conversations we've had in the past, when it's me and you and the guys in the round table looking at the strength of schedule, the Kings they're kind of falling down that board there. They're number 2 for a while. They're down to 6 or 7 now after last night's game. The Clippers are still up there. They have some hard games coming up, and obviously Phoenix's schedule, I looked at it just a few minutes ago. It's an absolute buzzsaw. They don't have a quote-unquote break until the final couple games of the year. So I think you're in a pretty good spot of avoiding the 10 or falling out of those top 10 spots. But, I mean, we saw the importance of it last year, and kind of what they can communicate is how important home court is. The Kings, obviously, they're 18 and 15 at home this year. They're not above 500 on the road this year. They've been a very good road team in the past couple of years, but nothing quite like that inaugural Beam team year in 2022, 2023 when they led the Western road win. So if you have a home court advantage, we saw the importance of that last year against Golden State. The Kings, they kind of got their get back at the Warriors after losing in the playoffs the year before. Golden One Center was rocking, and you don't really want to go to Phoenix. Phoenix this year has been a very, very bad team, but they've been even worse on the road. 12 and 24 on the road this year. They're 21 and 13 at home, so you do not want to go to Club Phoenix, like you said. And is it likely the Kings can jump to a top 7, top 8 spot? Sure, but not impossible. A lot of crazy things have happened. And, I mean, when you look at last night is a perfect example of anything can happen any night in the NBA. The Kings beat the Cleveland Cavaliers last night in a game that, I mean, myself included, I think I made a joke on Twitter about, what could possibly go wrong. Kings are playing Cleveland with no LaVine or Sabonis, and I got, rightfully so, some chirping back at me after the game ended. I'm happy to be wrong there. I'm definitely happy to be wrong, but, I mean, the schedule is what it is. You got Boston and OKC on a back-to-back coming up. I mean, obviously you don't want to look ahead of tonight's game against Chicago or Saturday against Milwaukee. Those are all going to be tough matchups. But if the Kings can somehow, channel what they've been doing the past couple of games and really make this homestand, I mean, if we can get crazy and talk about a 5-2 homestand, that puts you in a different spot when you look at what the Clippers in Minnesota, who lost in their game last night, could be dealing with. So you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves. I'm sure that's the message in the locker room right now. But control you can control, and take it one game at a time. And the Kings right now, they're following up an ugly losing streak by doing the best thing possible, and that's winning basketball games.
Frankie, are you in Jay Ross's pool, the March Madness pool?
Yeah. How many brackets did you make, by the way? I
only did 2. No, okay. No. I'm honestly, I'm not going to say it's I love March Madness, but the actual bracket, I just get so much anxiety. It's just too much, man. And already I picked Louisville. You flip a coin with the 8-9 and Louisville loses, but I do not have it in me. Now, there are other things that I will be doing, but specifically the brackets, I can't do 15 brackets, Frankie, because I'll have 15 different versions and get far in one. I just can't do it, Frankie. Who do you have winning in J. Ross's bracket?
I hate to be that guy. I have family. I have family with ties to the school, so I've always kind of quietly wanted them to win. Cooper Flag and the Duke.
How did I know? I knew. As soon as you said I have family, I knew where this is going. He's Yankees. He's Duke. What else is there? No. Hold on now. You're Yankees. You're Duke. You're Cowboys.
I'm not a Duke fan.
No,
I'm not a
you're
Duke
Cowboys.
Fan.
You're secretly
fan.
Lakers. Just throw them on one pile, Frankie. I mean, Alabama, is that your football team too? Would you give it a rest, Frank?
I will stand on the fact that I'm a Yankees fan, and I promise I have the knowledge to back it up. I'm not a Duke fan. My aunt and uncle, shout out my aunt. Shout out my aunt.
And you haven't beat them Kentucky. They got them beat in Kentucky. Who else, Frank? Goodness gracious.
Shout out to my Auntie Carrie, my Uncle Greg. They both went to Duke Medical School and Nursing School. Shout out Cooper Flag.
Your aunt and uncle?
Yeah.
That's kind of a reach there, Frank.
It's my mom's sister. What are you talking about?
Give me a break, Frank.
Who did you pick? Hold on. Who'd you pick?
I picked Tennessee.
Oh, whatever. That's boring.
Now ask me why.
Why, Alan? Do you have I went to Tennessee?
No, I have no connection other than I like the colors, and that's what it should be about, Frank.
Well, wait, when is the last time Temple made the tournament? Just out of
No, don't start there. And it was I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. Okay. So don't start with me. And the NIT is ours. It's ours, Frank. So don't start with me there. Frankie Cardicelli, thank you so much. Get out of here, Frank. Go change a diaper. Thanks for joining, Frank. All right, I'll talk to you soon. 1 o'clock hour is upon us. It is time for the Kings Bulls preview. Can the Kings keep the momentum going, or will they kang? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You've got a gas-powered engine. Keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
John.
Attention citizens, a notorious outlaw is on the loose. Mo Leaks, a.k.a. the Water Bandit.
Just a little drip here and a little trickle there.
This slippery suspect is guilty of wasting 10% of your water, raising your bill, and stealing 90 gallons a day. Don't let him rob you. Fix those leaks during Fix a Leak Week.
Oh man, I've been caught.
Stop Mo Leaks. Find and fix those leaks today. Learn more at roseville.ca.us/fixaleak.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doop doop, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business.
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Sacktown Sports is bringing you the biggest live events in town. Whether you're rocking out or dancing the night away, check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Get ready for an epic night out. Papa Roach and Rise Against take over Golden One Center March 29th. That same night, comedy legends Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall bring the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Get ready to laugh your socks off. And for all you country fans, Lee Bryce and Walker Hayes hit Ironstone Amphitheater June 21st. Then head to Santa Rosa for Country Summer with Sam Hunt, Kane Brown, and Dustin Lynch June 27th through the 29th. Then back to one of the most beautiful venues as Parker McCollum takes the stage August 16th at Ironstone Amphitheater in Murphys, California. Don't miss out. Find more info and score your chance to win tickets at sacktownsports.com. Again, get all the details on the hottest events happening in town and your chance to win tickets at sacktownsports.com.
Huge savings now on new 2025 Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Super Center.
Save $11,000 off MSRP after rebates every new Silverado LT Turbo Max with Maida Chevy's exclusive all in-stock pricing.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$11,000 off new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Super Center. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive. Not available with special financing, leasing some of the offers.
A great deal at Maida. KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
All guests and callers.
Our hardcore listeners, we love to see you, hang out with you, take pictures with you. And this whole McNeese State thing, so it took about 20 minutes, but I've completely flipped. The cheerleaders are wearing Amir Khan socks, who is the boombox guy, the Aura kid, okay, from social media. He brings the boombox out. So at first I couldn't stand him. All right, and in about 30 minutes here, it is taking me to completely flip because people are coming up to him taking pictures. This is the Gen Z world, right? Or whatever I think is generation beta after that. This is where we're at now.
Okay, he's still Gen Z.
Hold on now. No, okay, well, maybe. And this guy is making money, first NIL deal for a team manager because he's just cool and people want to be around him. And now McNeese cheerleaders are wearing his socks. People are asking to take pictures with him. And you know why this is really starting to tick me off? Because the McNeese Cowboys are beating the Clemson Tigers 23-8. They're losing their coach, probably losing half of their roster, maybe losing Aura kid, Amir Khan, the boombox guy, and they're going to break my bracket. I have Clemson going to the Sweet 16. So this is not good, and I've just decided to embrace it. We're all going to lose some Sweet 16 teams eventually. I'll just go right after it and do it right now. So I'm just going to do that right now and lose one of my teams as it's 23-8 with 5 minutes, 45 seconds left in the first half. Plenty of time for Clemson, but I am mentally preparing myself for McNeese State, an Aura boy, boombox kid, and a coach that's about to leave to not fully break or bust my bracket, but it's definitely not going to help my bracket. So there you have it. You would really like to go into the weekend with my whole Sweet 16 intact. Clemson's going to have to pick it up. And and here's the thing. They're showing this kid, you know how people get mad about showing Taylor Swift? They're showing this kid, Kyle, there's probably a Vegas line. They have shown Aura Boy about, I've seen it at least 2 or 3 times, and I'm not even paying attention to the game like that. So he's getting more screen time than the coaches.
Yeah, okay, so there's a few things here. One, the branded socks for the cheerleaders. That's got to be an NIL deal thing, right? Like someone's paying for the socks.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess it's some personalized sock brand, right? Like I have one with my cat on it. You know, you can do it with anybody.
Yeah.
Anything, really. So, but yeah, hey, wear these socks. But are the cheerleaders getting paid? They're the ones wearing it.
They can get NIL endorsement stuff.
They better.
I don't know how Boombox Kid is distributing his NIL funds evenly among the group, because
he's shaving off the top.
Here's the thing, McNeese State, you know, you're not bringing in the big money like that. So I don't know. Boombox Kid maybe is splitting amongst the group because he's bringing in literally thousands of dollars to a program that otherwise, you know, I'm guessing doesn't have the largest NIL budget. To your point about them showing the kid over and over again, I mean, they do this with March Madness, though, right? It was Sister Jean one year. It was that Gulky kid. Yeah. It's like they find the one guy. Who was the white guy for St. Peter's who had the funny mustache? Like,
yeah. And then what was it last year? The dude from NC State, or was that 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago. Last year was that Gulky kid from Oakland that hit like 10 3-pointers, and everyone said he's going to be an accountant because he literally was studying like accounting finance at Oakland.
Yeah. So this is it now. You knew it a 5-12. You knew a 12 was going to win. You just hope you picked the right one, and I did not. I mean, there could be more, but this is the 5-12 that I'm afraid might go in the wrong direction for me, but it is still early. Clemson just has to pick it up a little bit, and we hope the Kings keep it picked up from last night as they take down the Cavs, and now look to take on the Bulls. The Bulls have not been terrible, right? They're starting to find their way. I just checked the injury report, and as we know, it's turning into a thing. If you want to know what the actual injury report is, start paying attention at about 2:05. So as soon as we go off the air, the next show or whatever you're doing, if you're curious what's going to happen with the injuries, it will happen right after this show ends. That's how it typically goes. And real quick, VCU, BYU just tipped off. And if I'm not mistaken, let me double check here. Yeah, this is a big one for me, Kyle. I got VCU beating BYU because of Sal Betts from yesterday.
Yeah, Sal Betts.
Sal Betts from yesterday convinced me to take VCU, over BYU.
Who told you to take every Ram? Just take the Rams, pretty much.
Just take any Ram. So that game just tipped off, and we'll keep you up to date there. But as we break down what's going on with the Kings and the Bulls, since January 1st, the Bulls, 19th in net rating, 23rd in offensive rating, 15th in defensive rating. And since the Zach LaVine trade, same thing pretty much, 19th in net rating. They are a little bit better offensively and, surprisingly enough, a little bit worse defensively. The Bulls leading scorers since Zach LaVine has taken off to greener pastures or more purple pastures, I should say. Kobe White at 22.1 points per game. Josh Giddey, who you could be excited about Josh Giddey. They move off of Caruso for him. Still a young player in the league at 20.8 points per game, which is very surprising to me because never really knew what Zach Giddey or Josh Giddey, really one of those guys that is that Swiss Army knife, but hadn't really found his lane yet. Hey, are you just kind of this do-it-all point guard? He's got good size on him. So 20.8 points per game. Did not see that coming from Josh Giddey. Nikola Vucevic at 13.8 points per game. My guy, who I thought was going to be Rookie of the Year, Matas Buzelis at 12.3 points per game. And the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Huerter. At 12.1 points per game. That's the worry, right? With this whole Kangs thing, Kevin Huerter decides that he can now shoot in Golden One Center, and he goes off tonight. That's the main worry for me. I do think that, and we'll see what happens with Zach LaVine. I do think that it's a battle of the revenge games, and let's not forget DeMar DeRozan. He's already played the Bulls, but there's a lot of revenge going on tonight because the Kings seem to only make deals with the Bulls. So I'm not terribly worried about the Kevin Huerter revenge game, and he might get a nice 15, 20. I could see that, but I still think the Kings should be able to get it done. Trying to get an update on Zach LaVine, whether or not he will play. Obviously, Domantas Sabonis still out.
I can give it to you right now. He's not on the injury report.
Okay, Zach LaVine not on the injury report. He was out last night, personal reasons. He was in the locker room post-game when we heard him dap up Malik Monk. So the Kings should get this done, even if Kevin Huerter has a good game. But if Kevin Huerter has a good game, yeah, you can't let Josh Giddey go off for 20 and Kobe White go off for 21. You can't let that happen. Let's not forget, last time the Bulls were in Golden One Center, DeMar DeRozan was still in the red and black, and they won that game with no Zach LaVine. If I'm not mistaken, Kobe White went off. Kobe White went off in that game, and DeMar DeRozan went off in that game. So it is possible for the Bulls to get this done. Obviously, now they have Zach LaVine, who, again, did not play last time the Bulls were in Golden One. So you sleep on this team, and they could get you. They've had a decent stretch these last couple games here, and I know they have some big games coming up. So they might be, not over the opposite of overlooking. When you're the Bulls, you don't really have big games per se. They are sitting in ninth in the East, but they are healthy under 500 at 29-40. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games, and they've lost. Or excuse me, that's the Miami Heat. They're 6-4 their last 10 games. They lost the last one, but they have found themselves on the winning side of things. So they're looking to keep that going, and the Kings just have to make sure that they're, I know to go Kyle Kuzma there. You just want to make sure you're not that team. And lately, a couple teams have been that team. It's kind of crazy to me, Kyle, and this is a bit of a sidebar since I accidentally said the Miami Heat. So the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls are both 29-40. The Miami Heat are 1-9 in their last 10 games. They've lost 9 straight, and they're still in the 10 seed. Wait for it, by 5 games. By 5 games. It's just kind of brutal stuff, man, with this whole play-in game. But there is a big difference with how these teams, even though they have the same record, how they are playing. And the Kings cannot get caught up with that record, as they didn't get caught up with that record last night. Last night they said, hey, they put their pants on just like we do, left pant, then right, or right pant, then left. Let's go out there and see what we can do. You have to now take that on the other side to say, hey, this Bulls team 29-40, they put their pants on the same way we do. And honestly, guys, no disrespect to us, they're looking at us like food as it pertains to, they have the Lakers next and they have the Nuggets next. So if they're going to get a win on this road trip, they're looking and they're thinking it's probably going to be against the Kings. And they have the Lakers again, and then after that, March 29th, they have the Mavericks. So they're going to be hunting today and trying to get something done. On the other side, we break down how the Kings can keep this rolling, and we go over the injury report as we spent a good amount of time on this player last night, and it all came to an end, or did it? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Well, it's the Ram Truck Month sales event, and I know that means discounts.
Right now, you can save up to $17,500 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And we don't just have a few Rams. We have Northern California's biggest selection, with over 500 new Rams available.
It's the big city savings with the small town customer service.
Exactly. When you shop at Hoblet, you become part of the family. Plus, we don't just have big savings on Ram trucks. We have almost 200 vehicles at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter and over 30 under $20,000.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,500 total net savings after 10,500 factor rebates and 7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital. 1,500 National Conquest dealer cash. Must currently own or lease a Ford, Chevy, or GMC brand vehicle. And 500 on-the-job upfit. Must show 500 plus eligible upfit. 5 of this net savings. Simple VIN 684-262. See dealer for details.
Fox into the front court, into the paint, pulls up, trying to tie it, around, a two-bouncer, no good. Kept alive by the Kings, back to Fox, floater, way short, no good. Rebound, grabbed by Harrison Barnes, swings to Huerter, 3 on the way. He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead, 30 points, a season high for Huerter, and it's 9.2 seconds to go in the ball game.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
I'm just going to do the thing because Kyle decided to come back with a former King, not even a current King. So I'm just going to do the thing. Huerter avoids booze tonight, right? No, let me ask that a different way. Because De'Aaron didn't even really get booed when they announced his name. Couple of questions when it comes to Kevin Huerter. Does he get booed when he has the ball is the question. Because I have my answer, but I want your answer. The other question I have is, does he get a montage video? Those are my two questions when it comes to Kevin Huerter.
Okay, I will say no to the montage video and no to the booing, because I know that for most of your Sacramento Kings broadcasting experience, it's been about trading Kevin Huerter, what Kevin Huerter's not doing. But that Beam Team season, Kevin Huerter was such an integral part of, I would say, the most important Sacramento Kings team of the last 20 years. And so I would expect, he never did anything bad on the way out other than playing bad or going 3 for 10 too often. So I think at the end of the day, you're going to see an appreciation for what Kevin Huerter did specifically during that Beam Team season, because that year Kevin was awesome, man. And that highlight that I played was his magnum opus in Sacramento, not only the game winner against the Jazz, but the first time in his career he finally broke the 30-point marker. He had done it like 3 times in Atlanta, once in Sacramento, and he finally got over 30 with a game winner. So I would expect a lot of love for Kevin Huerter tonight.
Okay, that's fair enough. And it's funny? It's all based on expectations, right? And I think Kevin clearly had some expectations, but I don't think it got to a point where, oh man, he was so much worse than our expectations that we can't remember the good times. I think that after the Beam Team, to your point, after the Beam Team, he couldn't necessarily get back to that level, but I don't think it was enough. I think him getting traded, to be honest, kind of saved the idea. And when you get traded and it wasn't like he said he wanted out, he would say some backhanded stuff, but it wasn't as if he said, hey, I want out or anything like that. So I do think it's a completely different situation than some of the other former Kings that have visited the Golden One Center. I think it's a good point on what he has done. They might mess around. Did Harrison Barnes get one? Did he get a video?
I wasn't there, so I don't remember, but I would guess Harrison Barnes meant more to the organization than Kevin probably did. I'm not.
Chat, help us out. Help us remember if Harrison Barnes got a video, and also help us out. Do you think Kevin Huerter will get a video, and should he get a video? Help us out on the YouTube, and that's Sacktown Sports 1140 if you're not in there already, and on the text line 916-339-1140. Yeah, I don't know, Kyle. I'm trying to figure out, okay, is he going to get it or not, and whether he should get one. What's the line? That's ultimately the question.
I mean, it's weird, and this is why I like the conversation about like video tributes and jersey retirements, because there is no standard for it. You kind of just make it up as you go. And I feel like those players from the Beam Team specifically should and will get receptions. Like, I'm trying to think, Davion came back when he was with Toronto, I believe, and Davion got a applause from the crowd. There was no, ill will. Now, obviously, Davion got traded in the offseason, and there was some time to process it and all that, but I feel like all of the members of the Beam team will be celebrated from now going forward when they return, because now that some people got their feelings out about De'Aaron Fox in that first game, right. I would imagine it's all love and appreciation for what that season was.
Yeah, hey, ultimately, thanks for the memories, Kev. It didn't end up working out. It didn't end up being a good fit for you. It didn't end up being a good fit for us. No harm, no foul. He's going to be looking to hopefully play in some important basketball after this season. So it's all love for Kevin Huerter. As we get into this injury report, Domantas Sabonis obviously out. Jake LaRavia questionable once again. Mason Jones, G League. Isaiah Crawford, G League. And Isaac Jones, as much time as we spent on Isaac Jones, we're pretty sure he's done. I confirmed with Brendan Nunes. Brendan was kind of basing it off of the math that we did on this show. We're pretty sure Isaac Jones is out, but this stuff can get pretty confusing, and we spent a lot of time on it yesterday, so we'll see him when we see him. How about that?
Maybe we'll find out before the game he's been converted to a full NBA contract. Who knows?
Exactly. So there you have it with the Kings.
Also, quick update. Matthew in the SAC chat says Harrison did get a tribute video, and I do see it on Matt George's Twitter. So Harrison Barnes did get a tribute video when he returned. So at least I would have said if Harrison didn't get one, then I don't think Kevin
Kevin can't get one.
But Harrison did, so that opens the door for Kevin to get one.
So you have Garrett saying Huerter doesn't deserve a video, and one chat later, Kenneth, he should get one just because of the Beam team. I think it's very split, but hey, why not? Just give him a video.
Here's the compromise. If De'Aaron got 90 seconds and Harrison got 60 seconds, how about a 40-second tribute video for Kevin Huerter?
That's right. And fake Kevin Huerter has to march down there and say what's up to him, and they have to embrace one last time. How about that?
I like that. Get fake Kevin Huerter's photo op. He shows up in Kings Kevin Huerter jersey or Bulls Kevin Huerter jersy. I assume it's
Kings.
Okay.
Kings.
Because I remember he used to match whatever jersey they were wearing that night. So I assume at this point he's got to go Kings Kevin Huerter jersey, and then they do the photo op. And then what? Does he retire it at that point? Does he do it every time Kevin comes back? I don't know what fake Kevin Huerter does after this.
Yeah, maybe he buries it, and he says, "Hey, it's been a good run." So
I don't know. Didn't he wear the Kevin Huerter jersey the first game after he got traded though? Or was someone said there was a fake Kevin Huerter sighting? I won't say what he said, but there was a fake Kevin Huerter sighting at the game right after the trade. I don't remember if he was in the full
wearing it
gear.
in memoriam. Now it's another memoriam, I guess. So we'll see what happens there. As far as the Bulls are concerned, Josh Giddey is questionable. Ayu Dosunmu has been out with that shoulder surgery, along with Lonzo Ball. He's out, and he's not the highest on the list of a King that never was, because it was more of a personal one for me, but he did have his time in the sun because the Kings really only make deals with the Bulls. Patrick Williams is probable with a quad injury. So you get to see Patrick Williams, another wing who hasn't really panned out, but is still quite young. So we'll see what happens with the Bulls. Obviously, you're missing Alonzo Ball, who has kind of pulled those things together and had a good stretch when he was playing. And Josh Giddey can obviously handle the basketball, Kobe White being that more scoring guard. There's definitely enough here to get a bit spicy if the Kings aren't on their P's and Q's. And if Jake LaRavia isn't out again, we think Zach LaVine will be playing. This is a different type of test for the Kings, where your emotions are, I'm the man. Aloe Black is on a Throwback Thursday, but can you make sure that you take care of business and you're not feeling yourself a little too much? Let's discuss how the Kings can get it done on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. New Hondas are piling up, and that means big savings for you.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
And now a brief history of the garage door. Garage doors could date back to 450 BC when chariots were stored in gatehouses. Here in the States, they became a thing around the start of the 20th century. You could find a float-over door in a catalog way back in 1906. National Garage Door has been around since 1974. They're family-owned and operated, so you can trust them to solve any garage door issues you may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door Services, their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer-branded garage doors. They're the nation's BSE broken spring experts. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help, whether it's a garage door tune-up, repair, or replacement you need. They'll take care of you at National Garage Door, 916-638-4554. That's 916-638-4554, National Garage Door.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. You know I'm a big guy, right, everybody? So sometimes, even my SUV or sedan, I want a little more space. Maybe I want to take the fellas to the football game or to the basketball game. Maybe I want to go golfing. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has the perfect solution. They have a Vans Fleet Center. And they understand your business needs. They understand your personal needs as well. They have a great inventory and a huge selection. And plus, they have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter alongside those reliable diesel options. So if you're looking for a new van just for personal reasons or even for your business fleet, head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And get this, you can take advantage of their exclusive limited time 0% APR financing offer for up to 60 months on select models. So head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbfstockton.com and tell them Drape sent you.
Join Sacktown Sports for all the madness this Thursday at Tom's Watch Bar, where we'll be broadcasting live all day starting at 10 a.m. with Allen Stiles, the Drive Guys at 2, and ending at 5:30 with the Kings Game Night broadcast. Tom's Watch Bar, Sacramento's biggest sports party. Get ready, NorCal. The Lodi Beer Fest and State Barbecue Championship is on Saturday, April 26th at the Lodi Grape Festival grounds. There will be something for everyone. Craft beers from over 50 breweries, live music, outrageous food, games, plus taste barbecue from world-class barbecue teams. For tickets and more information, go to grapefestival.com. Must be 21 years of age or older to attend. The Lodi Beer Fest, where great brews meet legendary cues. Saturday, April 26th in Lodi.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
You know that sound is March Madness, and it is madness out here. A very nice flow going on here at Tom's Watch Bar. Some people taking an early lunch, taking a long lunch, taking a late lunch, just hanging out all day. Some people been here since breakfast time. Okay, I'm not mad at you. I wish I was. Yeah, and we can all continue to hang out together, come by, say what's up. But the party doesn't stop when I'm done at 2, when the party starts for me, because I will officially be on vacation. I will be out tomorrow. Brendan Nunes filling in. But Kyle Draper, and the Drive Guys. They got you starting at 2, getting you ready for game night. And we are here all day long at Tom's. Come by, say what's up, take pictures, shake hands. We love to see it. You know what I don't love to see? What's going on with McNeese State. We are officially on upset watch, people. This is the crazy thing about college basketball. This is a real situation. And Kyle, I know we're both doing the show, so I haven't got to watch much. But Clemson has, and this is not a typo, Clemson, who I picked, I did not realize Boombox Aura Kid was a part of this. Clemson has 13 points at halftime. 13 points at halftime. BYU, VCU is 19-17 with 10 minutes left in the half. Clemson has 13 points at halftime. This is what we were talking about yesterday. I don't know what I'm looking at, but that's bad. Because I didn't get to watch. But the person out there, it's better basket. Stop it. Maybe it's more entertaining because of the storylines. But 13 points at the half. Someone needs to be suspended. Open the transfer portal right now for all of Clemson. 13 points at halftime. You need to be suspended. You need to go. It's not a principal. Who is it in college? Off the top of my head, the dean. You need to go to the dean. 13 points at halftime against McNeese State as a 12 seed, whose coach just told them, "I'm peacing out." Yeah, you got to get suspended. I'm sorry.
In the 4 minutes since I switched off that game to Auburn, Alabama State, Auburn has scored 14 points. So it's not going great. I haven't watched the game, but I did see the most college basketball stat pop up during that broadcast, just glancing up at the TV, which was Clemson one made field goal in 11 minutes and 29 seconds of play.
I mean, that's just terrible.
I mean, we say that, but the Kings did that last night too.
Yeah, and I feel bad for the kids. I know they're getting paid now, and they deserve to get paid, but that's just an embarrassment. And you got Boombox Kid in the corner, and the cheerleaders are wearing his socks. You got to have some pride, Clemson.
He's signing autographs mid-game.
He's signing autographs, and you are putting up 13.5. Come on, man. Which idiot has them going to the Sweet 16? Yeah, that's me.
Well,
that's me.
The thing is, I did just look it up, and actually in the first 9 minutes last night, the Kings had 12 points and 2 made field goals. So I guess we shouldn't be too critical of Clemson at this point. But it is 20 minutes of basketball to score 13 points.
So I'm looking here. Houston is up 70. That game's over, 78-40. They move forward from Edwardsville. I just talked about Clemson and McNeese. Purdue beats High Point 75-63. What else is rocking and rolling here?
My bracket's still perfect.
Well, there you go. 54-36. Auburn is putting a hurting on Alabama State. Creighton, they beat Louisville 89-75. And you have, I know there's a couple more. Oh, Wisconsin beat the brakes off Montana. Wisconsin moves forward 85-66. I have Wisconsin going to the Sweet 16. I have VCU beating BYU, Kyle, and VCU is winning 19-17 to start it off. So I will take that all day.
I think it just switched to 2019.
Don't like that. Don't like that. So we will not fill you in on that unless VCU is winning once again. As we take you up to 2 p.m., Kyle Draper is officially in the building. Jay Johnson is officially in the building. They will get you ready for game night that's coming up as the Kings are looking to continue to ride the hot hand that started. Honestly, it started against the Grizzlies. It's been an up and down roller coaster, 4 straight. You get this win against the Grizzlies. And you know what? When you look at the tough road that the Kings have had, maybe we haven't given enough just due to the fan base and to the crowd of Golden One Center. Yeah, it's tough to go up against the Cavs. Yeah, it's tough to go up against the Celtics and go up against the Thunder and go up against the Bucks. But you do get to do it at home. And going back to before Doug Christie, the conversation always was about protecting home court. And that is something that the Kings are really working on. And when you hear the crowd roar and when you see just how electric it is, even if you're watching on TV, the Kings are maybe finally learning how to harness that and use that energy, not depend on it, but use that energy in a way that they haven't been able to in the past. So that's one thing. I know these games are all tough, but at least you get them at home, which is a big difference than having to do a gauntlet like this on the road, or even half of this gauntlet on the road. So I think that's a big deal, and can help the Kings maybe more than we expected heading into the crunch time of the season, the butter situation of the season. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, if you're looking at the shot clock as far as the season is concerned. And honestly, we'll get into prop talk and dog segment on the other side here, but honestly, I feel pretty good about the Kings. I think this is where Doug Christie really butters his bread and makes his money, just motivating the guys. And hey, you were just on the other side of this not too long ago, right? Or last night, with a game where you were expected to win or lose, and the Cavs came out. I wouldn't say they rolled the ball out, but it just wasn't enough intensity, and they lose a game that they shouldn't have lost. It's been happening rampant. I think it's the perfect time because it's been happening all over the NBA. It's happening in March Madness as McNeese State embarrasses anybody that took Clemson so far in the first half. So it's very obvious that this could happen to you. So make sure that it doesn't happen to you, because you're the Kings, right? You're a 9 seed. You're not even. They're both 9 seeds tonight. You're not even a situation where it's a letdown game. You know in your heart of hearts you're a better team, and Vegas will probably say that you're a better team because you are, but this is not a letdown, roll the ball out situation. You're not good enough to do that, right? Just because you won the game last night does not mean that you're good enough to do that. So I think Doug will be able to get that message across. There will be a level of focus, and this is one of those growing opportunities for the Kings. Prove that last night wasn't a fluke, right? Prove that you can win a game against the Grizzlies, win a game against the Cavs. And, oh, by the way, we're still going to take care of business against a team that we are legitimately better than, right? We can show up even in games where we are the favorite. It's not just, oh, yeah, when we're playing with house money and nobody expects us to win, we get it done. So I think that is a huge talking point, and will be tonight for Doug Christie, because it is happening all over us and all around us, and the Kings know that. Now can they harness it and be able to get it done? So that is what I'm looking for today. Again, we're looking for, and I'm checking with the Sean Cunninghams of the world, and guys, and I think we might have something. Here we go. 1 minute ago, Jason Anderson, Sacramento Kings guard Zach LaVine, will be available tonight for the game against the Chicago Bulls after missing last night's game due to personal reasons. Jake LaRavia, illness is still questionable, and Domantas Sabonis' ankle is out. So there you have it, your updates. Zach LaVine is back in. We're not sure about Jake LaRavia. Obviously, Domantas Sabonis still out. That's right. And don't change anything. Don't change anything. Have that same intensity throughout the rest of the night that you had last night. Just because you get Zach LaVine back, if you're Doug, you still got to go with what works, right? Obviously, I don't expect the starting lineup to change, but once they get their 5 minutes, all fine and good, let's start pushing the right buttons again. Okay, let's make sure if Zach LaVine's the hot hand, go with the hot hand. If DeMar DeRozan at 35 years old, coming off the back-to-back, maybe needs a bit of a rest, then rest DeMar DeRozan, I'm saying within the game, right? And make sure he doesn't accumulate 35, 36, 40 minutes, anything like that. Doug has started to kind of push the right buttons, and he's going to have to continue to do that against a team in the Bulls who are going to be looking at, hey, guys, if we're going to get one, we're going to get one. We're going to get one tonight, most likely, right? So that's the situation. If you're just now joining us, Zach LaVine is available for tonight's game. And you have Jake LaRavia, who is still questionable. Domantas Sabonis is out. So Jake LaRavia, we'll see what happens, but, getting closer to more of a game time decision as he was out with that illness. And, hey, get your vitamin C in you. get whatever you need. I'm not going to say any brands, but get what you need, get right. And if I would say if you're not right, Jake, King should be able to get it done without Jake LaRavia, right? We already talked about who the Bulls are missing with Josh Giddey is questionable. If Josh Giddey doesn't play, there is literally no excuse because Lonzo Ball is already out and Patrick Williams is probable. So you'll probably see Patrick Williams. Ayo Dosunmu's been out. So if Josh Giddey doesn't play, I mean, you cannot lose to the Kobe White show. You cannot let that happen. And the Kevin Huerter show. So those are the things that we hope do not happen. And the Kings keep that level of focus going into tonight's game. One more segment with you, then we turn you over to the drive, guys. Prop Talk, dog segment, and we make our predictions. And hopefully by this time, Clemson will have figured it out, but I probably doubt it. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Huge savings now on new 2025 Silverado at the Meta Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Save $11,000 off MSRP after rebates every new Silverado LT Turbo Max with Meta Chevy's exclusive all-in-stock pricing. And Meta Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $11,000 off new Silverado at the Meta Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MetaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing some of the offers.
Made a great deal at Meta.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered the fastest connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speed vary. Not guaranteed.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, a huge spring savings for you today.
Things are just better when you switch to Cricket. The sun shines a little brighter. Happy music starts randomly playing. Best of all, you can get iPhone 13 for just $29.99 with the ultra bright Super Retina display and up to 19 hours of video playback, all on Cricket's super fast 5G network. See, isn't that better? Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new account and port in on $60 plan. First service charge and tax to sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SacktownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
I looked up and I saw Clemson had 16. I was very excited about that. Moving on from 13. McNeese State has 40. It is 40-16. 40-16.
Gonzaga scored 13 points in 4 minutes in their game.
And look, this is beyond Clemson. I've already worn it. McNeese State might be a problem, right? A swan song for this team as the coach moves on. They got the boombox, the Aura kid, Amir Khan, signing autographs. We knew there had to be a team. But you know what? Every year, I don't know, going back to when, I was really big in the Bay Area as a kid, right? And I just would have with Josh Childress and the Lopez twins, I would just have Stanford going to the Final Four every year because I just loved Stanford and Cal. But, as I got older and you're trying to win these brackets, there's going to be a team to get to the Sweet 16. And I think I might have some double-digit seed getting there, but it's just really hard to pick the right one. Or maybe this one was the most obvious, right? With all the NIL and the vibes. I don't know.
I think the one everyone's picking, though, is the Tritons, UC San Diego. This was kind of like the trendy pick. It's like, do you like Boombox Kid? Because Clemson, they might be a 5 seed, but if you look at a lot of the nerd stats and stuff, they probably should have been a 3 or a 4 seed. So this is like kind of shocking that they're just getting run out the building by Boombox Kid and all the players that are about to go to NC State as soon as this weekend ends.
I mean, it kind of turns into, right? Now, if Clemson gets out of this, they might go to the Final Four. But you cannot – they have a lot of work to do. Because with college, obviously in the NBA, it's, hey, get it to 10 in the fourth or whatever it is. Since there's only 2 halves, you're down 22 points. You're looking at this like, we have to get, I would say, in the way that you don't score, right, or don't really score in college, you need to get this bad boy to 10 with about 5 minutes left. If you want, I would maybe 3 minutes left, but I think that's really tough, and you got to get stopped. So Clemson's trying to make a move, but I'm not too sure. So we'll see what happens there.
They don't even have 22 points in the game yet.
No, that's my problem. That's my problem. I've already cooked it. It's fine. Goodbye to one of my Sweet 16s. Kyle Draper, we'll see who he has picked as Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson, and Whitey Gleason may be out today, I'm hearing, which is why he's not on with us right now. So we will see what happens, and they'll take you up to game night and get you ready for Kings Bulls. And speaking of Kings Bulls, Kyle, you want to take a guess at the line tonight?
Oh, well, I guess we don't know about Giddy yet, which that line will probably adjust based on whether he's good to go. I'll say Kings by 6.5.
You're close. You're very close. Kings -7, which I hate. I hate this. I hate when the Kings are the favorites. I definitely hate when they're the favorites by more than 5 points. But today's a new day. Yeah. Today's a new day, and Doug is going to have them boys ready to go. Okay, there's a reason that they're 7-point favorites, and they're going to show it. And I truly don't care if you actually cover or not. Just win the basketball game. So there you have it, Kyle. as we just found out, if you are just now joining us, that Zach LaVine, and part of that line, because it was not that high this morning, part of that line is because 13 minutes ago, Jason Anderson reporting that Zach LaVine will be available tonight for the game against the Chicago Bulls for his first revenge game after missing last night's game due to personal reasons. Jake LaRavia, by the way, who already had his revenge game, still questionable. Domantas Sabonis, of course, is out, and haven't seen any updates on Josh Giddey and everything that is going on. Oh, Kyle just got the news.
When it breaks,
We have it first.
So on top of the Bulls missing Lonzo Ball, Ayu Dosunmu, Patrick Williams it says day to day, he is probable. That is still probable. Josh Giddey, it's red, Kyle. I believe that means he's out. So it says he was listed as questionable, but then the status is red and says out. So I believe Josh Giddey is out tonight. And you know what, Kyle? It probably broke around the same time we got the news for Zach LaVine, which is why it is a 7-point line. So trying to confirm somewhere else, but I'm literally on ESPN.com on their injury report, and I believe that Josh Giddey is out tonight. So that would be a very tough blow for the Bulls, who, really shouldn't be in the conversation tonight anyway. But if they don't have Josh Giddey, and now it's saying injury management listed question. But that was an hour ago. I'm literally checking Underdog at this point. But ESPN, they have him out. It says status out.
Well,
and
he's been questionable for now. The official injury report still has him as questionable.
Yes, it's very confusing how they write that, by the way, with the red out, but then he's questionable. I guess he's questionable until he's back in. All right, Kyle, let's get to, speaking of who's in, who's out, let's get to some prop talk. Gotta let it ride, Kyle. I know you're making a face right now. So I'm going to take the bait. I've been very basic with my prop talk picks because I never really know what to pick. And I'm going to keep it pretty basic right here and ride all of the revenge games. Revenge games, it's a real thing. And I know it's a lot, but I'm taking Zach LaVine, 23.5 points. Now, I don't think there's necessarily any bad blood. Look, the Bulls, they paid him his money. A lot of people thought it was a bad contract. His relationship kind of swayed back and forth where it's a terrible contract and you can't play, but we're actually going to try to fix the relationship because there's nobody to trade you for. And then we ultimately traded you when we secretly and not so secretly wanted to trade you the whole time. So I don't think a ton of bad blood, but weirdly enough for Zach LaVine to want to show them what they're missing. And it's a high number, Kyle, but yeah, I'm going to stick at 23.5. Just give me straight up points for Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I think the Zach LaVine issue was that they signed him to a $200 million max and then fired the front office that gave him the max like 9 months later.
Right.
And so the new front office came in and wanted to do their own thing. It is kind of funny just thinking of revenge games and LaVine and Huerter playing against their old teams. How weird is it that the Kings are getting clowned on nationally for being the Sacramento Bulls, and yet without Sabonis, they're like giant favorites against the actual Chicago Bulls?
That's true. I mean, Lonzo never really counted, but they're favorites against the Sacramento Bulls because the Bulls are no longer those Bulls.
Yeah, the Bulls are just this weird team that's like, I don't know, you're just, Kobe White's just chucking up numbers and you're waiting to see if Josh Giddey grows into something. Oh, I gotta be careful with that. Anyways, my prop talk for tonight, I caught myself mid-sentence there. Prop talk, Jonas Valanciunas. I see 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined tonight. So I'm feeling a double-double for Jonas Valanciunas tonight. Do you know why? Because Nikola Vucevic is terrible on defense. Just a truly, truly terrible defender at the center position. He made an NBA career in Orlando out of putting up 26 points a night and just playing no defense. His defense has only gotten worse. Other than Kobe White, who's obviously short, he's the worst defender on the Bulls. So Jonas Valanciunas grabbed the rebounds, put up the points, maybe. Let's say double-double for Valanciunas, 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists will be my prop talk for tonight.
Well, I would also say that Jonas Valanciunas did not have a great game last night. And obviously, Vucevic can shoot the three ball, but he's not going to put Jonas Valanciunas in the same position that Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, how they kind of tandem those guys. So he's there, Evan Mobley's still big, so you have Jonas guarding him. So not a great game. So I think on top of what you're saying, Kyle, just a bounce back game for someone who just didn't play that well yesterday. And Valanciunas, he wants to be a crowd pleaser and show up and show out. So I think I'm with you on that one. I think that's a good find, to be completely honest with you. All right, Kyle, it's time to let those dogs out. It is time to let the dogs out. And you know what? We didn't get a ton of time to talk about this guy, but he's very quietly not playing as much. And Keon Ellis hasn't played poorly, but, Doug is pressing some buttons. And when Jake LaRavia is going, or last night, Devin Carter and Keon was in some foul trouble. I think Keon hasn't been playing poorly, but he's been playing enough for a little bit of a bounce-back game, and he can kind of lock up. I think Kobe White should be a guy that Keon's defensive prowess can do well against. Donovan Mitchell, not a great matchup for him. So I'm going to go Keon Ellis tonight in a little mini bounce-back game.
I really just be chilling for real.
Yeah, I love it. It's been a weird setup. He's now been pulled out in crunch time 3 times for, I think once was LaRavia, once was Lyles, and then last night Devin Carter was playing down the stretch. Some of it foul trouble, but it's a good shout from you. I'm just going to stick with your assessment earlier. It's a revenge game. It's all about vibes tonight, so I'll take your 23.5 and take it a step further. Give me a 30-point game tonight for Mr. Zach LaVine.
Letting it ride. Letting it ride. Great stuff, Kyle. We'll see what the Kings can do. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Allen Stiles Show. Great job, as always, Kyle. I know there's a lot going on when we are remote, so we appreciate all the work you've been doing. Thank you to everybody that came out and said what's up. We really do appreciate you. Callers, texters, Sack chatters, thank you as always. I am out tomorrow. I will be out in San Diego. Brendan Nunes has you, and we'll be reacting to what I believe will be a Kings victory. So for me, until Monday, secure the bag, light the beam.
Gotta go. I want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell